Oh, welcome, guys. Welcome back to another live stream. I am accompanied this evening for at least a short while by my buddy Austin here. It's my 5-year-old, and he doesn't normally wear a hat, but it was sitting here, so it got put on his head. You want to say hi?
Hi.
We're going to have a good stream today. We are going to have a good stream today?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are we going to look at? Look at some tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We have some sent in already, guys, so thank you for getting them in. If you haven't already, you can send them to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's artmesomething@gmail.com. We'll be taking a look at them in order that we get them. So we're going to say hi to some people first, Austin. You want to say hi to some people?
Sure.
All right. Let's say hi. Scroll up to the top. We got Glizz. Yes, of course. Send your work in if you haven't already. Winning streak. Thank you for all the support on the channel. I've been meaning to get back to some of your comments. I see them, and I'm like, you know what? I need to find the right one to reply because I appreciate the support. And yes, happy Led Zeppelin Day. I'm sorry. I don't know what are you doing over there, crazy man?
I'm doing what? I'm doing.
You just look at yourself in the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. What's up, Andy? Andy will be here in a little bit, I'm sure. But here we go. Who else? We got Smoke. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Again, guys, just giving you a few minutes to get your work in to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We're going to go in order. I appreciate y'all being here. If you wouldn't mind giving the stream a like, I'd appreciate it. But yes, we will be checking out your work very shortly. Just once Andy gets here and we say hello to some people. Who else we got? So this is Chris. Welcome, Chris. Jonathan. What's good, Dave? What's your thought on numbing cream? If you ever tried it, I have. I like numbing cream. It helps the client be more comfortable, gives me more time to do my job. And yeah, it's all around just better, especially in those areas where, you know what I'm talking about. Things just hurt, and I'd rather them be numbed up even a little bit than not. Overall, it helps. What are you doing? This is what happens when you can see yourself in a camera. All right. Joey boy, what is going on, man? Doing well over here. Sorry to hear it's so cold in the UK right now. Hey, you got to calm down a little bit. You're shake the camera crazy, man. Who else we got here? The tattoo. Wait, I think that's Andy. All right. I think we've said hi. John, welcome. Austin, calm down, buddy. Calm down. All right, Danik. Welcome, Danik and Dennis. All right, guys, without wasting any more time, I think we're going to jump in and take a look at some work. Steven. Oh, excuse me. Oh, perfect timing. Andy has joined. What's up, Watson? Smoke again. Steven. Mary. Andy. Welcome, man. Let's see if you can hear us. Can you hear us, Andy?
Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a bit quiet.
I'm a bit quiet. Okay. Let me try turning my volume up on this thing. Let me see if that helps. Is this any better?
A little bit.
Any better? Hello.
Yeah. Is it? Might be me. Oh, I've gone.
All good. Let me make sure we're streaming okay here real quick. I'm sure it's Danik says it's freaking cold. Everyone, is it cold? It's really cold, huh?
It's freezing here.
Is it? I mean, it's relatively cold. It's been in the Fahrenheit, though, 30. So I don't know what that equates to in Celsius.
I know at minute it's about -2, -3 here.
-2, Oh, man. Whew. Scars. Yes, you can send in fake skin photos for feedback. Yeah, absolutely. We look at a lot of fake skin, really. Yeah, and Joey Boy's saying it's -3 degrees. Interesting. All right. Well, real quick, let's take a look. You want to scoot this way a little bit? You good? You good? Yeah? Getting camera shot? Eh? No worries. Okay, I did want to pull up real quick. We'll see the thumbnail of the video. Let's pull this up. Bam. What do you think? What do you think, Austin?
No.
Not good?
No.
Okay. I don't know what is going on here. You ate McDonald's too? I was looking for something to, that really caught my eye. And I don't understand why somebody would do that.
Say hi.
You gonna say hi? Okay.
Hi.
But yeah, I don't understand why anybody would put this on their body. Why you would make the decision. I mean, what came first? The UN McDonald two question mark, then this deer like thing. What? I just want to know why. What's going on? What's going on up here? And then things happen, and then you're like, yeah, okay, let's add on to this, right? Let's keep going. No. This is you gotta go potty? All right, you go potty. That was Andy's car. He's beeping it too. Beep beep. Okay, all right. So with that nonsense out of the way, bam. How you been, Andy? Should we
Oh, good. It's yeah. It's not your 1 minute, Dave. It's not your audio, mate. It's mine.
Oh, okay.
Let me just try something, because if I lose you, I'll have to join. Yeah. I'll have to join back in.
Do any of you guys have crazy tattoos like we just looked at? I'll pull that up real quick. Andy's working on his audio here. No problem. Is it anybody? Now, I'm not saying you have one like this, but do you guys have something that's along the lines of you should have stopped while you were ahead? I don't know. I mean, this is on the person's back, so it's not like they gave this to themselves in the art of practicing. And I don't know. I think you can almost get away with the little critter thing at the bottom. He's just messed up enough to be funny, but the you ate McDonald's? Of course. Well, hey, I have some crazy stuff, but it's been put there by me. So, yeah. If this were to be a critique tattoo, I don't even know where you'd begin. I think it's, what's the point? Some of these are, what's the point here of critiquing? Because clearly there's not really been much effort put into it. Even though execution-wise, we've seen way worse tattoos. But I don't know. Art of practicing, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you won't want to be walking around with that on you, would you?
No, I think I'm going to pass on that one. All right, how we sounding? A little bit better?
Sound a bit better. You're not getting feedback into my mic, are you?
No, I don't think so. I think everything sounds fine on my end.
Right.
Danik, you want to see a man with the tramp stamp? I believe you wouldn't have to look too far. I've seen some interesting stuff, but yeah, no, that was a fad. All right, so I have marked the very first person that sent something in when I put out the notification, and yeah, we're looking pretty good here. I figure we might as well jump into it and get started. Tyler's gonna be up first. Hey, Dave, this is a recent tattoo I've done. This is my first tattoo I've done on real skin. I've previously been using Frankenskins and have really enjoyed them. Never used Frankenskin. Real skin does not get my stamp of approval, though. Interesting. Let me know your thoughts on this piece. All right. Okay. Watch out, bud. Thank you, bud. I think it's cool looking. Is that who that is?
Wait, no. Yeah.
I think you're right, buddy. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like the face a little bit here with the, the darks kind of drawing you in. I just think maybe the line work is probably just a little on the sketchy side. Shading could be, a bit more tonal, like a bit more tones here and there. But for the most part, I think it's going to be the lining for me. Any thoughts here, Andy?
Yeah. For me, lines are there, but they're not in. When you get in there, you can see that they're not in. They're not in solid. They're not in crisp. Whether it needs to slow down a little bit, speed his machine up, just needs to take a little bit more time over it. I mean, looking at it, it doesn't look too bad, but once you get in close, shading's tonal, could do with a bit more smoothing out. Yeah. For all intents and purposes, at this distance, looks good, but it's when you get on top that then you can actually see the falters. I understand the line going through the line of the balloon going through his arm on the right hand side, but there'd be no need to put a break in the line on his arm. That would actually carry on. That would just carry on through one line and go straight up and through. Yeah. The black that's in the clown's lips. Yeah. A little bit sketchy. you know, it's not quite packed in there. But obviously, it's give it some effort. I mean, the side, left-hand side of the balloon, you can see where it's stopped a line and picked a line up, and it's double thickness, you know, just underneath left-hand eye. But for all intents and purposes, the lines are smooth.
Sure.
As in, we've seen them where they can be jittery, you know, as they come round. The smooth, the concept is good. It just wants more work. Needs a bit of attention paying to things like, I'm putting a line in, is it in? Is it saturated? Is it there?
Sorry, he's bored now. So,
No.
all right, buddy. Okay, thank you.
That's definitely a little mini-me, isn't it?
Yeah, he just stole my hat. Really, one of my other ones. So, doesn't help the cause. Thanks, bud. Later, man.
But,
anyhow,
yeah,
sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It just needs to be a bit more work goes into the lining and the thing, but good effort.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's on fake skin too, but definitely room for improvement. Let's see. Cool. And who was this? This was Tyler. Tyler, thanks for sending that in, man. Let's see what we got next. Hi, my name is Catherine. We look. Oh, okay. Maybe she sent her stuff in again because we looked at this. Okay, I didn't look at this on this stream. Okay, we looked at this with Joey Boy. Okay, about the live critiques. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a tattoo artist with 2.5 years experience. Here are a few of my last works. Would be happy to hear from you. Okay, so she has 2.5 years experience. I've seen all these. They are fantastic in my opinion. And to see that this individual has quite an array of talents, if you will, or styles. I mean, they dabble in a little all-arounder, and they're pretty stinking decent at all of them. For 2.5 years, it's just amazing to see the different levels at which people work and function at. And I personally really like this tattoo.
Yeah, it's a nice tattoo. It's a nice style. It's an illustrative style. Very nice style. Very nice use of dot work.
Yeah, and then that little bit of green up there, I thought was just kind of a nice little.
The subtle highlight of color, where there looks to be again either 3 or 4 colors, even though it's only a small area.
Yeah,
it looks to have used either 3 or 4 colors in that, and which we've said before. If you're coloring your coloring area, use minimum of 3 colors to get your contrast. With at least one, preferably 2 steps apart, you know, in shade wise.
Right, for sure.
Just because you need contrast, whether it's black or grey or whether it's color, your piece needs dynamic. It needs contrast. They can't be too close together. Otherwise,
yeah, and a lot of clients always ask for, or it seems to be, they ask for, can I get some black and gray, but I just want a little bit of color. And anytime I see something that I feel like hits the mark on that, I'm like, that was nice, because that is black and gray with a little bit of color. And it's important to make sure you understand that when working with clients if they're requesting that sort of thing, because sometimes they mean just full on color. This one I thought was really cool too. Bunch of different shading styles here.
Yeah, it's nice. And what's nice is they've stuck to rule there. That eye, top lid of that eye, and eyelashes. Nice crisp eyelashes.
Yeah.
Come nice and fine. And you'll notice, if you look at anybody's eye and you look at any eye, that top lid, underneath that top lid here, and the eyelashes are always dark. They're always black because of how it sits. It always naturally casts a shadow. So yes, they've done that, and they've got that dark and that highlight. In the highlight, they've even gone down to the point they're showing the reflection of the eyelashes within the highlight, within the eye. And I'll be honest, this actually looks like they've used black and grey, but used true greys to smooth it out.
You really see that in the flower down here, in my opinion.
Yeah,
maybe in the back of the eye a bit.
Which if I'm honest, if I'm doing black and grey now, it's black and true grey. I don't go with grey washes hardly ever anymore.
Yeah.
Especially for myself, because it works better for me, as I like well, you know, Dave, I prefer to work in colour wherever I
Right.
can, but using the blacks and true greys is just an off spinner using colour.
Absolutely.
It's a crossover.
Absolutely.
It's a
Same
crossover between the two.
application, really.
Yeah, it's a crossover between the two. So, but this piece is a lovely piece. Detailing eye, it's lovely. It nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I remember, I think when me and Joe were talking, he had some different things as far as where light was coming from and whatnot. And it's cool to hear other people's thoughts. But overall, I think the line work is really nice, pretty consistent. You see that in a lot of places where they have it. And I think you hit the nail on the head there with the eyelashes. If they
Yeah.
got that freaking, if they're fat and they're not crisp, I don't know why. It just wrecks a piece.
But the thing
sometimes.
is, you see, with this, I understand what you're saying about the highlights, the lighting, and everything. But this style, it's not exactly realism. It's more on the lines of illustrative.
Yeah,
So there
Illustrative
is,
mixed with some semi-realistic stuff.
yeah. So there is liberties you can take with lighting on illustrative.
Yeah, there's a lot of tattoos where I do like the idea of definitely focus on where that lighting comes from. But I've always found that to be kind of fun in tattooing, depending on the style. You kind of create the lighting, and sometimes it can be from weird angles. I don't know. But when you're doing realism, it's a tricky thing to constantly keep in mind where that light source is coming from all the time and to execute it properly.
I love this piece.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I
The
remember
use of colour, the use of dynamics in the colour, how they've managed to pull off, shall we say, the gold/brass looking effect with the blue, even down to, you look at the gems in the back of the knuckles, they've got what, 2-3 colours in there, highlights, tones, everything through it. This piece is killer for me. Absolutely love it.
yeah, and there's parts of it I believe might be healed, and even healed. I think this upper section we decided last time that we figured this might be healed up here, and it has settled into the skin nicely. It looks nice, even healed. So it tells you that down here in the different spots, they're probably going to settle in as well and end up healed, unless it is.
What I will say about this piece, if you look at the left-hand side of the helmet,
yeah, I
to
think
the
they just
face,
worked to that.
that's worked. That's been worked as that. You can see it's still a little bit bloody, so that's either been gone over a bit or worked and everything. But this person's use of color theory, the understanding of different colors to create the highlights, the lowlights, and everything using color and not just relying on black. It's a killer piece. It's an absolute killer piece.
This one I thought was really cool too. Very contrasty, which obviously allows a tattoo to breathe and be super visible from distances. And I personally like, and I wish maybe they, and I don't know, this might not be done. I don't know, maybe it is done. I wish they'd incorporate a little bit more purple here and there, just real subtle hints like they did here. I thought that would even be even cooler, but that's just my random opinion. We're not really here for my opinions per se. And I think also here it kind of looks like, I don't know. No, I don't think this is any kind of true gray. This looks like washes.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd be inclined to say that that's some sort of true grey.
It could be the what I do is I put some white in my gray wash, kind of tone it a little bit more, and it could be that. It could be a mixture of that wash with a little bit of water or a little bit of that white in there.
Yeah, it could be, but I'm just looking how opaque the face is. It could be just the lighting on the photo.
Could be too, yeah.
But got good. I mean, for me, they've got good contrast in here.
Good. Yeah, I love the contrast in it.
Yeah, they've got good contrast, like the lips.
I wish down here in the flower, though, I feel like we have such nice shading throughout.
Yeah.
And then we get down here, and it feels a little bit
weak.
Yeah. If we can really see the marks, and not that that's a bad thing, it's just that a little bit more cross hatching would go a long way down there in those these areas.
It doesn't look. You see, the rose to me doesn't look as finished as the rest of it.
Yeah, even the leaves down here look. I don't mind those. The rose itself, unless this was something that was already there, maybe they reworked it, moved. Who knows? It's hard to really say, but overall, it's pretty solid. Looks like they've been working on it here and there.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then, that's right. She sent us this as well, which I thought just shows all the different, I guess, techniques. There's some You tell where they, smooth stuff out, but I would be totally happy with the execution of these lines if I had
Yeah,
done
I
that.
mean,
And the way that they did the nice little color blends here, didn't overdo it, kept room for that highlight in there.
it's
Smart.
just a it's just a banger little tattoo. I mean, line weight's good, line strength's good, color
Yeah.
saturation's good. The actual consistency of spacing between the letters is good. The only part on this one which I can see downside is the missed line, double banged the line, and it stands out like a sore thumb.
On the V
Signed at V.
right here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's the only thing I could really tell. But
yeah. What I'd done, I should have just gone back in and just smoothed it back into black. That's the only thing that pops off
yeah,
to me. But
I will say, to be honest, sometimes if I saw that, this is truth here, sometimes I don't know, maybe I'm discouraged from past experiences early on when I would try to make things too perfect and you can screw things up. Sometimes less is
yes,
more. Sometimes if you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe the skin wasn't the greatest that day, you go, that's good. I don't know. That might not be a good thing to say, but that's how I feel about that. It's like you could have gone in there and smooth that out and you'd probably be fine telling by your execution, but you might not. And then I don't know. I'm always afraid to do too much and um but
yeah.
again,
Well,
she's
nice
lining,
piece.
she's great, shading really smoothly, color packing smoothly, lining
Pretty,
smoothly. It's a
pretty
lot.
bulletproof.
Yeah, a
It-
lot of all around stuff
and
here.
But what I'm saying, it's like with this person, they've got the shading, they've got the whip shading, they're working on colour, they can do lines, they can put solid colour in.
Yeah.
Now, and we've said before, yeah, it's all right, you're doing all this realism, ultra realism, this, that, and other. If you can't, at some point in your career, you're going to have to do lines.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to put lines in. You've got to be able to pack solid. If you can't do the fundamentals, both, that's it. Because you know yourself, Dave. If we could just have people come into your shop and just have big shaded pieces or big pieces, this, that, and other, and that's all you did, and everything, and that's all you focused on, you won't have any money. You won't be able to live. Do you understand what I mean?
Especially in the current climate
And
we're in right now. Yeah.
yeah, if you can't put lettering like this, like this person's done, if you can't outline lettering, you can't do lettering, you can't do all this stuff. At some point in your career, you're going to end up with no work. You're going to end up quiet because and especially like we said in this economic climate, not everybody can afford to have a big ass tattoo done.
Yeah, you might have to pay some bills and do some smaller tattoos to keep the wheels rolling. That doesn't apply to everybody, but
Yep.
I could absolutely see it being applied to myself. Yeah, and I see the larger tattoos. I'm not doing as many of them, and that's okay. I know the season we're in, but I
Yeah.
have to do all them little ones because I got to, keep the wheels turning so I can wait around for those pieces that I so desire. But yeah, definitely doing lines. And the scary thing about lines is that, man, you could be good for a while. You could feel good. And it just takes one or two things lines to really bug you in a tattoo. Then you start getting in your head about it. So just keep on trying to improve them. Don't overlook them. Don't get in and go, I don't need them. I do this style. Absolutely do what you're doing if it's working, but maybe, build up them fundamentals while you're at it. This is also a fantastic tattoo. Totally different style.
Yep.
Super wide open, very limited on the stippling, but where there's dark, it works. And I think this is really nice on her arm as well.
Yeah.
So very cool. 2.5 years. Doing fantastic. Definitely jealous. All right. Jonathan Coots. All right, Jonathan says, I hope the resolution on this pick is good. I usually send from my iPad and wasn't able to this time. Use a 3-round liner, 11 curve mag, dynamic gray wash. All right. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Let's get in just a little bit. You know what? The coolest. Okay. Oh man, there's some cool stuff here. Is this finished? It might be. I really like this mouth, and it's really like limited, but really like the mouth. And up here at the top. I like this tattoo. I'm not too sure about the white fur, and maybe it's 'cause I don't have enough experience looking at this animal. But man, this is pretty cool. I like it. It's a lot, boy, tedious with all these little whiskers. I hate whiskers. So, and some of those are small. Very nice.
Yeah, it's I like the mouth, I like the teeth, I like how that's done. When I think I'm pretty much you know, in the white fur, even though it's white, I think it could have done a little bit more definition with some super, shall we say, a super light grey wash, just to give a little bit of definition within that white. Because even if it's white fur, you would have a little bit of contrast from the light bouncing in and out of it.
Yeah.
So I think just a little bit to give a little bit of definition and that on it. I also understand it's gone full black around the outside of it and fully blacked, tried packing black into fake skin. So I'm not really going to criticize that because that sucks.
Yeah,
fake skin don't take ink like that really well. And it's not a big piece. You can see by whatever that coin is up in right hand corner.
That's a
it's
quarter.
Generally not a big piece.
Not very big.
But when you, like you said, when you stand away from it, it looks, it's got the effect, the desired effect that is requiring. It looks good. You can read it.
Definitely. You know what I do kind of wish though is that there was just and it, you know, again, we don't know what the reference is, but I wish there was just a little bit of separation from the top lip to the teeth. That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe it would help drive you
like
I don't know. That would be nice a little bit, but yeah, just a little more detail in this white fur going around the outside. But again, I don't want to talk about fur. I freaking hate fur. So
first sucks big time.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more, especially within the white. The black of the tiger, you could have got away with doing it solid black like that, but using a mag and edge at mag, and just instead of it being uniform, a bit like tribal, bit like tribal markings, give it a slight bit of a fur effect. You know, fuzzed edge. It'd have been nice. You know, soften edges up. It'd have been nice. But that's it. It still reads, does the piece.
Yeah,
and it's still a nice piece.
Definitely cool.
Yeah.
Small, and kudos for packing the black throughout the whole background. Whew. Joey hit it and Andy hit it. Dang. I didn't even notice that when I looked at it. But man, what a bit of work. Thanks for sending that in, Jonathan. All right, let's look at Peter G. What do we got, Peter G? Greetings from Serbia. Here's a few, my last work, 1 year experience. Thanks for your time and effort. All right, is this the old one? That's November 27th. Okay, so this is this one. I'm wondering what you think about this one. It's 90% finished. All right, so this is where we're at. 90% finished. Okay. Ouch. Let's get in there a little bit.
What I will say on this.
Oof. I don't know if this was. It might be healing, but that looks a little harsh.
Yeah, what I will say with this is it says it looks 90% finished. It looks 60% finished to me. There's so much that can be done with this. Them lines look drilled. Them lines they look drilled.
I mean, they're
running too fast, either running too fast and too slow at hands, you know, through them lines.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I don't know if was this done like a couple days prior to this photo? I don't think so. It's still red in there. Man,
it's
hard to say.
They do look. But then again, like you said, does it look like a few days old? Because you know when you've done your lines and they're like 4 or 5 days old and they start to heal, they get that wrinkled effect.
They do. But I think this is still pretty heavily drilled. It appears that way. You know, I mean,
that top on,
normal, you know, we might even be pretty close to a blowouts in a few spots here. And it still looks like it's red. I don't know, like still kind of sore from being tattooed. It's hard to say. But no, I'm not a big fan of it either, really. I think the concept's kind of cool here. This dinosaur skull head.
I think it's, me personally, I would say it's probably 60% done. There's so
Right.
much to get, and there's so much of it that so much you could do with it to get the contrast, get the flow, and everything. Darks, mediums, lights.
Yeah, a bit more going on in here. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. What do you think he can do to improve it? He says 90% finished. We're saying I don't think we're that far finished, so we have much more room. What's going to be the biggest thing to save this? More dark, a bit more light tones, some more mid tones. Let's put it to the chat. Let us know.
Yeah.
I'm just
Put that
clicking
one.
through this, letting you guys kind of look at it. I'm sorry if I'm moving it too much, but I'm curious. Do you think these lines are drilled in there? I do. Yeah,
I
you can
know.
see it here. This looks pretty relative, and then these aren't too bad.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
let's see what we got here. Let's see. This person says, Scars says, I'm not a fan of the shading. I think would have been better keeping it more illustrative. I agree. Yeah, that would have been, you see the lining and everything kind of going through all those lines.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. Which video? This picture is probably the best one for now. That's a decent one. What else we got here? We got Jonathan. Oh, Jonathan. Jonathan says packing that black was a biatch, especially around the edges of the fake. Oh, that's yeah. Yeah, I bet that was, bud. That was
Yep.
the last one.
Sucks.
Let's see. Kyle says he agrees with Andy around 50-60% finish, needs more midtones and some decent knowledge of skin breaks with some minimal white. I also think the line work is rough. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. The focus is everywhere, so you don't know where to look. Yeah, this piece is too big for that illustration look, I think. Okay, it's just too big to have that illustration style. Fair enough. And the placement is interesting on the leg like that. It can be hard to read those. How can you get your tattoo critique? Send it to the email scroll at the bottom of the screen, and if we have time, we will get to it. Okay, I think we hit up a few people there. So,
yeah,
Peter, I hope that this what people had to say helps you out, man. Glees, GLZ. Right. This is tattoo in progress. I'm wondering how long I must wait until I can continue to work up to the knee because I need to shade over the gate, for example. Okay. Thanks a lot for your time. Well, technically 12 weeks, a tattoo is 100% healed. I don't know if that 100%, but that's pretty much like when it's all said and done. But that's according to Andy. And but I would give it like 4 weeks. And
4
you should be
weeks.
okay to tattoo over top of that.
Basically, I'm same with you, Dave. I say to him, give it 4 weeks because I need your skin to heal and heal, get back to its natural, get some of its natural oils back, and also heal down to the dermis. Make sure that's healed. 12 weeks is what they say is for a full heal, for the ink to be locked in the collagen levels and everything, and be totally locked in within your, your dermis. But 4 weeks before you can rework it. Anything shorter than that, you're playing a balancing game in my eyes.
I agree.
You are playing a very and people do heal at a different rate, but I just use the general rule of thumb of 4 weeks. Once it's scabbed, healed up, flaked off, or whatever, just get on with a general moisturizer and moisturize the living crap out of it, just to get it to heal ready in, for your next session.
Absolutely. Okay, here is the next one up, guys. Let us know what you think now before we start talking about it. That way, when I'm done, we can, I like hearing what you guys think too. If not, sometimes you just feel like a broken record on here for weeks and weeks, and it's good to get other people's thoughts. Andy finds things I don't find, different things. I do notice the owl is not finished. That'd be cool to have a little owl up there. I like this tattoo. I just not a big fan of the execution of the lines in this tattoo, but I think this is cool. Like a fun little tattoo. I think it fits that leg nicely, like the little pumpkin back there. I like the tattoo. I just feel like maybe some of these lines, and again, it's just hard to tell sometimes, but they do look a little harsh, and obviously we're running a much smaller needle back here in the back. And so you're going to get a little bit more of that wiggling back there with those smaller knees. But overall, you know, just looking at it, I think you'd be fine. But I don't know. This side, we do have some of these lines popping out a little bit more than I originally noticed. The tree's not too bad, but again, I think the thing that pops out to me most of all is the lines in here. I like the dark shading. I think it reads okay. You know, little things like this, the leaves getting lost in the grass down here, if you will. Just maybe try to pay attention a little bit to dark next to dark. Maybe have a break in it. You kind of do a little bit, but it would have been nice to have a little bit more distinction between them. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the gist of my thoughts, Andy. I'll pass it.
I mean, it's a little bit too dark for me. I mean, line work is not the best. The gates, the left-hand gate, the line work, and according to the right-hand gate, we've got two different line weights, and they're not, shall we say, very consistent. I'd also like to know what them gates are swinging on, because they're just hanging in the middle of nowhere. There's no gate post or anything. The
hinges on nothing.
Yeah, they're just hinges.
Like, well,
not...
it's your tattoo. I guess it's gonna be magical.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
they're behind it. So I don't know.
Hanging,
you know,
they're not hanging on out. The tree with the owl in needs more branches on it, more finer branches to finish it off. It's thing. I know the owl's not finished. Just a bit dark for me, and like I said, the line work's not there. That little flower that is put in front of gravestone, it's like you say, because it's so tonal down there, it's lost. Right. It's lost. But I do like the gravestone, as mad as it seems. The gravestone just seems to be the part that pops out, that you can see the easiest out of the black.
Right.
And I think that for me, the gravestone is the easiest part to read. And this is going to be mad. I think the cleanest part of it is the spider in the green gravestone.
Yeah, isn't that just a nice? And the little web, web's nice. Actually, the pumpkin from here looks pretty cool. It was all the little things that were like, oh yeah, it's cool, it's cool. And the gate's probably the letdown. Unfortunately, if I had to pick one thing, it is kind of the gate. Yeah, I think that's. Let's see. There's another. Oh, okay, further back. Right on. And then further back, hey, from here. But I don't know. Even from here, the gate's still a little buggy.
The gates.
I guess they got another opportunity. Like it says, not finished. So always get back in there and monkey around a little bit more. Can be tricky though.
Yeah, that tree needs some finer branches, and on the right hand side.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. I don't know if maybe they got away from them and it just ended up getting larger and larger over the process. Yeah, not sure. But I think we might see this one in the future. Once it's done, when you do finish it or whatnot, send it back in. And I wish I could pronounce your name. And I'm sure it's not Gliz. But thanks for being in the chat. Appreciate you being here. I didn't see him talking while we were checking it out or anything, but I know they were here earlier. Okay. We got John. Hi, guys. Tattooing for 10 weeks now. I know they're not great. The ink I'm using is really low grade, as is the tattoo machine. I've ordered proper ink and a machine for Christmas. Happy Christmas, guys. Well, congratulations. You're getting some new stuff. You got to dabble around with some boo-boo stuff, and now you get some new stuff. That's cool. Well, let's check out what we got so far. Let's start from the left here. All right. Looks like we're using not the greatest fake skin, but I get it. You just dabble in 10 weeks in. It's always hard to judge kind of like right off the bat stuff. It looks like they're using a thicker needle grouping, so that's cool because that's going to allow a lot more hesitation in your hand without showing it as much in the final piece. So you got some lines in on this fake skin. The stencil looks pretty interesting. So you must be using maybe, I don't know what you're stenciling using because it's showing like all the mid grades. Maybe they're using that Tattoo Stencil app. Could be that one, but I don't know, Andy. There's black packed in. These lines are not good. They're not. Well, but there's a few here and there that are showing some, some good stuff. So hopefully they're looking at these, taking the good and leaving the bad.
10 weeks in, and it's like you say, it's not great. there is areas that you can see getting there. It does need a lot more work. It looks like it's not on the best of skin, but what I will say, using a fatter needle, which he is doing, is helping him. It's not showing, the harshness or any wobbles or whatever in the line. But what I would say to him, at 10 weeks, this is a very, very busy design to be doing at 10 weeks. And to use one needle all the way through this design can be harmful, especially when you get into the smaller areas that you would actually need a finer needle for. So what I would say is, looking at that piece, he could have divided that piece of skin up into 2, or he could have divided it up into 4. Worked on some smaller ones just to get your line work under control to start with. And this is what we say: everybody wants to do a bloody wall mural to start with. They want to get the tattoo machine and the ink and do something that's 3 foot by 4 foot and crack on. But 3 inch by 4 inch is about your size, and keep it simple until you actually get your fundamentals something like, and you get to understand your machine. You get to understand how your needle groupings are working and the different effects that the angle of your machine is going to have on your line weight. And I think this is what this person needs to do.
Here. I have no idea. I don't even. Is this a stunt? At this, I'm lost for words. Is this just a stencil with some? But then again, it looks like they've lined some stuff. I think we're gonna have to jump over this because I don't think there's enough here to really even spend time on it. To be quite honest, there's really nothing here. They have done some lining, but okay. Here we have something here. Definitely wild looking. I can't tell what's mess that needs cleaned up and what's tattooed.
Clean your fake skin. I keep saying to it, use baby oil. It cleans everything off them. It cleans the lot. It cleans all the ink up and that. But this is a dirty skin.
Yeah, this is a bit rough. I mean, they're on some crap fake skin. I get it, but we've seen some pretty impressive stuff. Not to say that that's a reason to stay with a poor fake skin, but nonetheless, even the black areas here. I mean, this spot looks kind of saturated, but again, this is kind of hard to judge. It also kind of looks like this might have just been drilled right through.
It does. It looks chewed up and drilled through the skin.
So I mean, it's good it's on fake skin, but really hard to tell what's going on here. It looks like black is packed in, but I don't know if that were on skin. It could also have been destroyed skin by then. Okay, so you're finding out how hard it is to saturate color, huh?
Yeah,
that's what you definitely want to find out here. This literally looks like the outline is, very, very just kind of gone over and over and over and over to get it to where you want it to be, and it's on fake skin. So I mean, there's that. But now the black's not saturated at all. The reds aren't saturated at all.
Yeah, the good key to it. Like I said, the good key to it not being saturated is you can see through it. There's white, there's the skin poking through that. I mean, this to be fair looks like it's a case of either machine's too slow, hands too fast, or just too impatient to pack that colour in. Because you can see the rake marks, you can see the stroke marks on it, and this is another thing of learning.
And it might be we're going in the opposite order because the first one we looked at, after looking at all the rest of them, the lines were the best on the first one, and we've incrementally actually gone the opposite way. We're only looking at 10 weeks, but you see this a lot when people very, very early, like a couple weeks in, unless you've really paid attention to enough stuff to know, you don't realize how patient you have to be in tattooing, how slow things can be,
Yep.
And that you get on that fake skin, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And you're moving because you think it, you just know it's everything just takes a lot longer. So looking across this, I think this was probably the best one we had of the bunch. So continue on from here. You're only 10 weeks in, man. Plenty of time. Stay with some fake skin. I look forward to Christmas coming and we finding out how you like your new equipment and whatnot. So thanks for sending that in, man. All right. Is there pictures here? Jeremy, I got nothing here, man. We got Todd up next. Todd says, "Hey guys, went away to work on learning different shading techniques. I'm to the point now where I can start to share my practice tattoos again. I have 2 passes at this design along with my original design. First, gray wash with white added in after overnight in fridge, so white did not saturate skin at all. Second pass is using gray inks and black, which I'm leaning towards. Okay, let's just kind of take a look. So this is the original one. This was your design. It's pretty cool. I like that. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it looks like we're using, what did he say? Like true grays, I think. Let's go back over now that we're looking at first. All right, so this one was a gray. Second pass is using gray inks and black. So yeah, all right, true grays here, and really just packing those colors in. I think this is looking cool. I like it. I like it.
What I would say is, if it's going down that road, try mixing your own. Try mixing your own true grays instead of using grey inks, because you've got more control. You've got more control over your tones, and it's you can sit there with 10 caps out in front of you if you want with true grays, and you can mix up any single tone that you want.
Yeah.
And what you see in that cap is what you're going to get in the skin. It's like colour. It's what you're going to get in the skin. Is that you've just got to learn to blend between one from other. But yeah, you can definitely see he's got his dark and he's getting his greys in, and his whites as he goes along.
Yeah, definitely cool. Okay, and then this would be more of like your washes, I'm guessing. It doesn't seem like you had a very large array of washes here. You know what I mean? It kind of looks a little. I don't know. I don't get the feeling that they have a large value to work through when it came to more on the black and gray wash side of things. You know, I'm not sure. I feel, you could put white in some spots, but I don't really think you have to. I just feel like we don't have, I don't know. It doesn't look bad. The lines look good too, by the way. I just feel like the true gray version, it shows a little bit more depth and whatnot. And over here, I think you got to get a little bit more work in your washes, get a little bit more gradation, I suppose, a little bit more depth. We have black in some spots, but you could have kind of set the depth in a little bit more and pulled us, give us more dimension using the washes as well. It just seems that you executed it better using the true grays.
Yeah, I think this one with the grey washes is also suffering maybe no skin breakage at all. On that one, but the grey washes, the true grays one, wish it was finished, because that's actually starting to look better than this one.
Yeah.
Than the grey wash.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of them that when it's in the skin, it's like we were saying, it's a crossover between black and grey and colour. And when you're using solid pigment, once it's in skin and it's rested, that colour is what you're getting. That is it. You're not having to guess what it's going to heal to.
It's going to heal like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's why I went with some white in my black. Eventually, maybe I'll use some true grays, but I'm enjoying it so far. I think I'm going to back off a little bit on the white, because I was putting up to like 10, 11, 12 drops in each cap. I think I'm going to back it off to where I originally was, maybe 6 or 7.
I put between 12 and 14 in me now.
Yeah.
If I'm doing black and grey, if I'm doing a grey wash, I'll use, depending, because I use a 17 cap. So I'll put around about either 12 or 14 drops in.
That's where I am usually, and I get a very grays. They're you know what I mean? They have a grayish wash look.
What I prefer to do now is just you do the grey washes, but do black and grey. But instead of using grey washes, I use true greys, and no water. It's just fill them up with white and then have my drops of black. Mix them up and do it that way. Then just treat it like a black and grey.
Yep. Just put it where you know it's supposed to go.
Yep.
Art you later. Oh, cool. She said, "Hi guys, sending you shaded version of the Skull and Flowers. As I thought, it's patchy and I don't like it, but at least I practiced." That's awesome. and I understand. Thank you though. And one more piece, Kitty, done this week. After picking up some tips from live streams with Joey, around 7 hours in total, 3-round line. Okay, so 7 hours in total on this piece.
Around
Picked up
7
some new
hours.
techniques. They're using 0-0 3-round liner, 0-0 11 mag long taper. Still not perfect, but I'm on my way. Yeah, you really like those very small needle groupings, I imagine. Okay, so you did put the shading in there. Yeah, okay. All right. Let's see. Which one do we like more? I don't know. You like the bottom one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably was better before, but if you do put the shading over top of it, then I think the darker shading in the background would need to be just a little bit darker. And yeah. So, but anyhow, if you guys haven't been watching, Art Later sent this in last week with her original design, and it had a little bit of a tone over top of these flowers. So we thought, hey, what it would look like with that if you put that tone in there. She said, nah, I think I don't like it like that in an actual tattoo, but she was nice enough to do that for us, and so now we get to see both.
Yeah, and what I'd say with that is I think the flowers at the top, now I've seen this, just put the grey in the top, and I know she's struggling with mags and bigger needle groupings, but for her style, I think this piece would have been absolute stellar with this piece if, as it was, but instead of shading the flowers in as she's done, would have stuck to the whip shading in between them solid lines. The flowers have got them solid lines over, but then used the stipple shading in between them. I think for me, that would have been my personal choice, and that would have been a perfect finish to this piece.
Absolutely. And I think for Art Later's sake, for allowing me to see it like this, thank you for the time you spent on it. I hope you learned something in the process. Maybe you struggle with trying to get that smooth. I think it's relatively smooth for not doing that often.
Yeah.
I think that overall gray layer, that light gray you put over top of that's pretty smooth. I think it just needs a little more contrast up there, but that is not what we were talking about. I was just, just that layer. So we'll ask everybody, like I have up on the screen, which one do you guys think is better, this one or this one? I will let you guys decide. Give you just a minute to do that. I got to go kick this this person out of the chat. There's always somebody selling some girls. Let's see. There we go.
Smoking.
All right. Hopefully they're gone.
Yeah, but for me, the bottom one, less is more. Would have nice to see just that bit of stipple shading in that in the flower. Looking at it now,
yeah, I think that would have been cool.
That she does, because she does the stipple shading, so well.
Yeah,
as
bottom,
well.
top,
that it would have been nice, and it would have just finished it off. Seeing these, they've just got a little bit with the shading. They've just got a little bit lost in translation.
Yeah, people are both. They like top, they like bottom. Seems like maybe more people are for the bottom version. So cool. I'm glad you got the opportunity. In the end, people kind of like them both. Well, let's check out the new piece. Look at this. I don't even know what that
pound coin.
Yeah, but it's not very large.
Let's put it this way, Dave. It's not even an inch in diameter in that. It's 22 millimeters in diameter is a pound coin.
Wow.
So it's just shy of an inch. Just shy of an inch in diameter is that pound coin.
Okay, so this is relatively small, and she got to use those really tiny needles, and I like it. Again, I hate fur, so I can appreciate the time spent creating all that really nice movement in there.
What I will say, you can tell that she's back in a comfort zone with this small needle groupings, small piece, and sometimes if you're struggling with bigger stuff, instead of getting disheartened, it's good to jump back and do a piece that you know that you're okay with.
Oh yeah, just build that confidence back up.
Build that confidence, and you think she's saying, "Well, no, I haven't lost the ability to do it. It's just that I'm struggling with that, but I can still do this, no problem." And this is a total case of it. This is an absolute case of this, because she is really good at doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Micro realism, micro tattoos. This, for me, this is art your laters
She said I had to
niche.
go back. She was fed up with the lines, Andy. She
Yeah,
had to go
it's
back
right.
to home base.
It's
And I
right,
don't blame her.
and I totally get it. But this is Arculator's niche. Is this?
Yeah.
And that, and it's like, and she executes them. Amazing, to be fair.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from her.
No, I look forward to the more you continue Arculator, and eventually when you get to, because you have tattooed some skin of your own, but eventually there, depending on the time frame, there will come a time where you'll be tattooing, skin on the regular basis. So it'll be fun to get your regular tattoos on human skin and watch those develop as well. So cool stuff. Cool stuff. We can watch other people get better, which is, I don't know, it's just enjoyable. Just did these this week. Learned a lot from you guys. I'm self-taught, enjoying all the learning experience. Would love to have some feedback from you and community. Y'all are great and keep up the good work. That's cool. You gotta enjoy the process. If not, it just becomes work at that point, and it will someday. So don't make it become work too soon. Let's see. And then if it does become work, you gotta try to do something different to change it up. I'll tell you what, some of these parts of the skin is pretty chewed up. That black in there. I guess I would just be careful. Packing, saturating color can be a bit brutal, but fake skin can also be quite brutal. Pack it into. Yeah, this is doesn't appear to be the greatest fake skin, so I can understand that. It appears to be a lot of this purple. I believe this is purple, but it kind of looks lined. I'm not sure if this has gone around with a purple. Actually, I think it may have gone around the outside of this with a purple. I thought it was stencil that needed cleaned off, but it doesn't look that way. It looks like, they went around the outside with a purple after they lined it. The lining in a lot of places looks pretty decent. I'm not sure. Some of these areas the fake skin itself looks a little chewed up, and it could be the quality of the skin. It could be a lot of things. Hard to know just by staring at a piece, but a lot of good things. Some of these lines are good. You get some that, you come around that curve and you're stopping, you're trying to pick back up and bring it back the other way. Those are practice things, connecting lines, whether you want to come, to hit together, whether you want to bring it down, pick up the line, keep going. Those are practiced, and that's why we're on fake skin. You get to work your way through those things. But we continue to work on those lines, continue to work on the pickups, drop-offs, and pickups. And the saturation of color is really hard to judge on this one because it looks relatively good considering the product you're putting it on, considering the fake skin you're using is just not the greatest. It doesn't appear that way. So with that being said, I think you did a pretty good job here. I would just stick with that needle size and wouldn't really go too much smaller yet until that size. So you feel really comfortable, machine angle, moving your hands, then maybe jump to another one. I really like the teeth. The teeth in this one looks quite nice. Yeah, those look like pretty decent lines, pretty consistent throughout. Any thoughts, Andy? I just kept
no, you pretty much covered it. Like I say, biggest thing. Did they say how long they've been tattooing this person?
I don't think just not long. No. Did these a week ago. Just did these a week ago. Learned a lot from you guys. Okay, so
they don't say how long they've been at it, but it's like I say, it's a fair attempt. You can see pickups, you can see drop-offs. This is what people have just got to realise and watch for themselves. But I'm pretty much with you. Colour packing, really hard to tell. The fake skin, it doesn't look like, it looks like cheaper fake skin.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks to pack.
It does.
You just can't get it. Same with black. But as an overall attempt, I'm looking at the smoothness, the fluidity of the lines. It's not a bad attempt. It just needs to keep poking away, banging away. Maybe try a better skin.
Yeah, that would be a good thought. A better.
It will help on the line work.
Because I think this might be the same kind of fake skin he used in the other one, but I think the lining looks better here.
Yes,
I think this is pretty cool. Actually, I think it's lacking. I feel like it's unfinished, but what is here, I kind of like. That black looks relatively saturated. The reds I think are intentionally supposed to fade out. Those look pretty cool. These lines aren't too bad. And he has incorporated smaller needle groupings with the larger ones. And, you know, aside from the saturation being a little light in some spots, but again, that fake skin can be a pain in the butt. Not too bad. I would focus where we see this chipping of the skin here, this little bit. I'm afraid they might be chewing up the skin in the process. I mean, it's fake skin, so no one's crying about it, but you know, be careful
Yeah,
there. I think that's why a good fake skin, at least if you chew that up, you know.
The lines look like an improvement over the first one.
Right.
But it looks fine. I mean, the black inside the mouth looks fairly well packed. Around the outside of the eyes looks fairly well packed. And then he's making a valid effort at least he's making a valid effort to try smooth them colours out instead of just stopping them, just trying to get them to move out smoother. Would have been nice. Again, if he'd use a really darker red with that red, just to get in some of the creases and everything, just to give that look of depth. But it's relatively new to tattooing. That's gonna come in time. But this is a lot better piece, a lot better saturation, a lot cleaner lines
for
than
sure.
The first piece, and it done pretty well. Getting the stencil done for that one.
That's true. Kenneth, I would love to see some more stuff, man. Feel free to send some in next week. I don't know if we'll be here next week. I might be on the road. All right. Let's see. It's truck driver Jesus again. I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone, and also David and Andy for the encouragement and such wonderful men to help others. Well, thank you. I seen this video, so couldn't reply then. Here's my most recent tattoo, day 8 and 9. I also forgot to mention top, but I about tattooing on YouTube, including your work, David and Andy. Thank you. And this is day 8 and day 9. Wow.
Right.
Hey, that's cool to document it almost down to the day.
Cool.
Well, it's fake skin. It looks pretty good slab of fake skin there. Let's get in a little bit here. And yeah, you know, for day 8 and day 9, that's not too bad.
Day 8 and day 9. I'm going to praise this kid.
Yeah, not too shabby.
I'm looking at that love art, and for all intents and purposes, it's fairly even. We've seen some diabolical love arts.
Yeah, no doubt.
That are way off.
Yeah.
And yes, is there some variation as it goes around things for thickness and consistency of thickness as it goes through and smooth? Yes, but this person's day 8 and day 9.
Day 8, day 9 of practice.
Yeah, this black is 95% in there.
Yeah.
There's only a few, I can just see a few spots here and there. But for day 8 and day 9 of your tattoo journey,
right,
you're doing well. And now it's a case of practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, and
watch
then
what you're doing.
Things to look for in this type of stuff, you know, this black work. Because you have the ability to do so, it would be to find these little spots and just get that, like Andy I think talked about last time, a smaller needle grouping and just round it out a little bit more. Now, because it's the little details once you know get to where you know there's a few things, those little details of, is it circular, a little bit off, you know, curl up in here, little things, you know, the little things that because you want to look at a piece and go, how could I have made that just a little, would have been better, you know? And when you're looking at a solid black piece, as long as it's saturated well, this is relatively there. You just look for the other little things, you know, up in here, we got a little bit of the line, but day 8 and day 9, just showing you things to maybe look at so you can kind of critique your own stuff. And then, oh, this is cool. From here, I haven't even zoomed in.
I'm assuming this is day 9.
Right. Oh, man, it's cool. I like it. There's so much black in that with the very light. The lining looks relatively good from here. It's a cool little piece, man.
And you know, if you zoom out again a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, sure.
Zoom out again a little bit. About there, mate.
Oh,
I mean, Yeah, I mean, from here, this is totally readable, totally legible. We know what it is and everything. This kid's on day 9, right?
Yeah, day 9.
I've seen people coming here and they said they've been at it, or supposedly been at it 18 months, 2 years.
Right.
And they're worse than this. They're worse than this. So to me, this is somebody that's got their head down, their ass up, has done some research on what he's doing. He's trying his best. So when we zoom back in now, Dave, so I've no doubt we're going to find a few problems, but there ain't going to be too many. I mean, what do you really critique?
I don't really, you know, because it would be like, and maybe you could do this, and maybe you could do that, but really, it reads so nicely that the things you would change, the things I would say to change, I think will just slowly improve as you just tattoo even more. Like, there's no need to really say anything really that bad. I like it a lot, Andy, and I like that they have just enough black in this thing to hold it down, to allow for all that openness.
There's a couple of lines across the bottom of feet that are a little bit lighter, but that's been, you know, across the soles that are a little bit picky. But that's been a little bit picky. There's a couple of lines here than there. Man, we've seen far worse.
Oh, for 8 to 9 days. But he also did say, Andy, that hold on. Again, he does a lot self-taught, but I research a lot about tattooing on YouTube. So he's spending the time, you know what I mean, to really research it, do the work, you know, see what.
And sometimes researching it, and you might spend 20, 30 hours researching it.
Yeah.
Then if it's somebody that can take all that in, when he goes to put it into practice, if he can recall it all.
Right.
Which it looks like he has been able to do and put it into practice, it's paid off.
Yeah, and I was talking to Joy Boy the other day. Say he probably averages 1,000 hours of watching people tattoo. You know, just YouTube, whatever you can find, and picking. An important thing is you take what you want and you leave what you don't want. You can be like, I don't like how they did that. Then leave that behind. But maybe you can see some other valuable thing what they do, and pick that up. That's the process. Everyone's going to do things differently, but very cool. Jesus, keep at it, man. You're driving truck and you're doing some cool stuff, man. We look forward to seeing more from you, man.
Yeah. Like I said, 9 days.
Yeah, right.
That second one for 9 days, I'm pretty much stoked for a person. It's a good place to be.
It's like, wow, okay, you don't want to see day 8 and day 9. I don't know if I was doing anything on day 8, day 9. I think it was still just like fruit and circles and, you know, banana. I didn't know what I was doing. All right.
Sweeping floors and cleaning needle tubes.
Yeah, right. Hi there. My name is Angel from Nevada. Not sure if you remember. Here's a recent piece I did. Thanks for looking. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't remember. I don't know. Okay, so I think we're looking at the water bowl splash thing. I think this is like for the month someone was born, whatever that stuff's called. And all right, let's take a little bit of a better look here. Well, I think they're using a proper needle size. I like the needle size that they're using for this piece. It seems mostly consistent. There are, you know, you can clearly see a faint line, a little over heavy line, but I think it works all right because I'm zoomed in a little ways. I like the heavy dark in this. You know, overall, I don't mind this piece. I just wish the lines were just a little bit crisper, you know what I mean? Or a little bit smoother might be the better term. And maybe this was intentional, though. I kind of wish this centerpiece was completely black, but they probably left it open like that because of the way the light might be hitting it. No, I don't feel, you know, what do you think, Andy? Being too nice?
No, it's not such a bad little piece. A little bit on the heavy, darker side for my liking, which, you know, people like a darker tattoo than me. But the line work, for all intents and purposes, is relatively good. There is, you can see where it's got lighter, lines have got lighter, or the consistency is not quite the same. And that's an area for this person just to concentrate on. They've paid a bit of attention to get the darks and lights and the highlight on the front of the jug with the darkers around the side to give it some shape and some form. I like that as well. And they've kept it small. They've kept it simple. It's a little banger of a tattoo. And like I said, if you take anything away from this, just watch your line work and watch your consistency for your line work. Make sure they're starting right place. Make sure they're finishing right place. Because this is a fundamentals, and we were mentioning this earlier on. It's all right being able to do big ass tattoos and this, that, and other.
True.
But then again, when it boils down to it, somewhere in your career, you're going to have to do lines. And if you can't do lines and you can't put them in, you could do an absolute stellar piece. But if you can't put a line in and there's lines in that piece, it's going to let that piece down.
Yeah, they held in there. This line held like it's like a from blowing out. You know what I mean? It's like somebody hits that thing too early after you walk out, that sucker's gonna blow out. But it didn't, so that's good. Hopefully you saw that you pushed it to the very limit, and then in other places, maybe that's why they're a little bit lighter. Maybe backed off a little bit. Oof, God, what have you. But yeah, mainly the line work would probably be the shading is relatively rudimentary here, but it works, so we'd have to see more of it to really critique that. But cool. All right. Don't know how long you've been at it, but keep at it. Let's see. We have Flip. Hey there. Filippo, aka Flip here again. Working since last year, May in a shop. So since last May, you've been in a shop. Visited a tattoo academy to learn to tattoo. Okay. And you're in the shop.
He's in chat, inking Flip.
Cool. Well, I think it's cool that he did an academy and is working in a shop. I hear people all the time like, hey, if you do those tattoo things, those tattoo schools, I mean, depending on where you live, they're mandated. Nobody will ever hire you. So obviously you made it work. Did all the drawings by myself with Procreate. All right. Let's take a look.
Apple, Procreate. Apple. Apple's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah. And then once they get you into their ecosystem, the Apple ecosystem, it's like, no. You try to run away. No. And then you're like, oh, crap. Well, now I want to airdrop, blah, blah, blah.
No chance of me picking an Apple product up. I'd rather stick pins in your eyes.
I don't know, whatever. I better not get into it, but I'm kind of, I don't know, hypocrite here with my Apple products and how I feel about them. But I'm like, doggone them, spend all this money on them now. Flip a question. Oh, anyhow. So anybody
asking if you've done a Spice Girl tattoo.
What's that?
That'll be asking if somebody's done a Spice Girl tattoo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who is asking? Scars?
I don't know.
Somebody
I like Procreate, but I have a Samsung phone.
Well,
you just mixed up. Scars, you just mixed up. You just don't know whether you can't be like that. You've got to be on one side of the fence or other. You can't sit on the fence.
Yeah, you like Procreate, but you have a Samsung phone.
Yeah.
That's going to cause some problems. Oh shoot. Yeah. All right. Well, this piece, I think it looks really stunning from back here, and it's not huge. It's inside the inner arm, and that lining and everything in that area, especially the further you get towards the armpit, is a struggle. I think you see a little bit of that. It bounces so much. You got to kind of. That's probably why we have a little bit of a light line here as well. But the outside lines, I like that they're bold. Like if this piece is airy, and the black is in the lines. The black that the tattoo needs is in the lines. A little bit in the eyebrows, eyelashes. It kind of works to carry the black through. I guess if you just kind of look at it, I wish that the thick black line was a bit more consistent. It feels, like it was a bit hard to get this lining in there, so it required maybe a few passes, causing some spots to feel a little bit thicker than others. Or it could have been chosen that way, but it doesn't feel like it was chosen that way. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then on the inside, I do like the use of these thinner lines and they seem all right. Only because I know tattooing this area, I'll give you some leeway on those. On some of these smaller lines, it's just a pain in the butt, especially again the further you get up that way. But I think my favorite part of this has got to be there's just a little bit of shading they put throughout here. It kind of carries this thing along with the thick black outline. I just think that maybe a little bit more time in the lining would probably be my only real critique here, because stylized, I like it.
Yeah, style-wise, I like it. I actually quite like the effect that it's overall effect that it's got on the lines, whether it would be intentional, unintentional, or what. But it still carries it off. And I actually quite like it. Maybe
it really looks cool, especially when you're not right
does,
up on it. Like, realistically,
when you come away from it, it reads. And,
yeah, absolutely. I think
it reads as a piece.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to beat it up too much.
Nope.
And I'm just going to take it as a stylized choice for this piece.
Yeah, I think it was somebody else. We had something similar. We're like, well, at least maybe I was saying, I wish there was more. And then they were in the chat and they said, Flip is in the chat. Flip. But, and they end up saying, like, no,
it's intentional. The lines are intentional, is saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. And now you can see it here because these lines are cleaner and smoother. So you can, even more so probably say intentional, because we can see you can execute those thicker lines, which you have here. And they look pretty consistent throughout. Yep. Pretty consistent.
Whether this is, I don't know whether you've gone with stipple shading on this or whether you've gone with dot work or it's a mixture of two. But what I would say is just, even with either, this piece is just like, for me, is just lacking a little bit in depth.
Right. It gets lost in his skin. Yeah.
There's, in the shades that you've put in, there could have been some deeper and some more highlighted areas for that.
Yeah. Yeah. But
for this one.
And overall, again, I guess sometimes, just as I say all the time, like this, that, or the other, sometimes it's subjective too, It's like, yeah, I would like a little bit more black in it.
Yeah. And now this one, I like this one straight off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. It just reads real nice. I like the black coming from behind the head there, pushing him forward.
Good line weights.
Yep.
The shape of the hand, the hair, they all come to a nice point. The stipple shading, it's got some deep, darker areas in with some lighter tones in. This piece overall for me is, I prefer it out of the three.
Right.
And it's super clean and it reads really well, does this one.
What I like? Nice work. I like these circles in the eyes.
Yeah.
They're pretty doggone consistent and smooth, and I got some respect for that. The whole thing is nice. I like that you put the depth in the line work and where it needs to be. Oh, there's another one. Oh, okay. Oh, this is different. I don't know. It feels like the top's not finished, but what do I know? I'm not an anime person, so I really have zero ideas whether it's meant to be. But from what I can see here, again, I think it's cool looking. Definitely is stylized. And I think you're executing this particular style pretty well. Yeah,
it's like I said, for me, the hair, the top of the hair, the lines coming over the top of the hair, it doesn't look to be finished, because I'm looking at the other lines, everything's in dark. They've got bold lines, fine lines, but they're all dark, whereas they look very light.
Yeah.
But the other part for me is that's not, for this one, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not as nice as the previous one is. Like this one with the stipple shading, that one with the stipple shading and a lot of dark, transferring out into a lighter tone. It's still left a little bit, the stipple shading still left a little bit light in some areas.
Definitely. Let's check out. Oh, did we look at this the other day or something? I feel like we looked at this because everyone's talking about these hands down here. Maybe he did more work to it, but I like it. There's, again, a lot of open skin, but it works here. It works, that little bit of background back there. I really like this area here because it pushes that face that much more further forward. I'm a big fan of the thick, bold lines, especially around the outside. Yeah. It holds the black. I like this piece.
Yeah, it's a nice piece.
I like how it fits on his arm too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thought. plenty of thought gone into it.
Yep. And yeah, Art You Later, you remember as well. It was the way the hands were orientated. It, made you see something that wasn't there. But I really like this tattoo as well. And the style has just continued throughout. It's like we got to see this style kind of develop more and more as we moved across. And we have another one. Oh, yeah, yeah. Again, very similar. I love how smooth these little lines are inside here, too. Those are smooth. It's easy sometimes to rush the little things, and that's cool to see that they look very nice and taken care of. And then you've dotted, I don't know. It's hopefully there's more to come here. It feels like there's more to come here.
Yeah, but this is what we're saying. This is what we were saying there. You've got to get your lines. You've got to be able to do lines. You've got to be able to do good lines. Because if not, and you can't do them, and you just become a one-trick pony. And when you do put lines in a piece that's maybe an amazing piece, people are going to pick up on your line work straight away.
Absolutely.
So if you can't do line work, which is the absolute bare minimum that you should be able to do, you should know that yourself. The bare minimum, the first thing you should do and first thing you should learn. And any tattooist would tell you that you go to and you took an apprenticeship, they wouldn't let you move on until you could get your lines under control.
Right. That's what you do. Pack lines and saturate black if they're, allowing you to tattoo.
You won't move on until you could do them. Because you went through a apprenticeship and everything and that, Dave, and it wasn't the best one, but they don't let you move on to other stuff until you've got all that, under control, and it's good enough.
Yeah, very true. That's because that's how it's kind of a good process, because if not, you're going to have to eventually go back and learn it. So you might as well just kind of get it, even if you just have it a little bit and you're moving on. I think that's relatively okay too, especially in the way tattooing is now, where you're not forced to go through this process of this, and this, and then years later you can tattoo what you want. You have a bit more freedom, in my opinion, the way the tattooing world is. But I would say, as you pursue that exact style, that, black and gray, hyper realism thing that you like to do, whatever, which requires no lines, get in there, maybe do a little bit of that, but go back early on and start learning the line work, because you might need it later on.
Last thing you want to do is, let's take economic climate as it is at the minute. Last thing you want to do is back yourself into a corner. If you're tattooing and you've got your own studio or you're working in the shop or whatever, last thing you want to do is, we're not being able to do certain stuff, is back yourself into a corner where people want your work, but just can't afford it, if you understand, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because they've got to spend the money elsewhere. But what they'll do is they'll come and have smaller pieces done or certain other stuff done that they want doing before they have the bigger piece done. And that's the last thing you want to do, is just back yourself into a corner where you can't do anything else. And then all of a sudden your work dries up, or you're getting one job. You might get one job a week, but then one job a week's not going to pay your rent for your chair, your rent for home, your gas, your electric, your food, feed your dog, put petrol in your car and everything.
Right. Yeah. I really like how I love this shading, and I have a very truthfully little experience with this smooth of a stipple shading, if you will, and this consistent. I use it here and there for texturing and some tattoos where you just kind of, but this has a much more filled stipple shading. Like, they've done the whole piece this way, and I think it looks cool. I really like that they left open areas up here in the hair, which might allow it to carry on later. Fingers look good. They don't look whack. I like how it was shaded. The eyes are cool. A lot of little detail in the eye, and they hit that stuff properly. So, yeah, airy tattoo, but super cool. Well, that was cool. That was a fun little road there. What do we got here? We got Chris. Hey, Dave, this was done last night. Thanks for your time. Love from Canada, eh?
Just going to nip to the toilet, Dave.
Oh, you got me too. All right. Yep.
Got nip to the toilet. You got that one.
Let's see. Okay. Let's take a look at what you got here. Hey, you know what? This line work's not bad. Not bad. Looks like pretty much a one pass operation. There might be a few lines that could be like ran a bit smoother per se, but who am I to say? We all have that here and there. I like it. I feel like it just gets a little heavy, and I like a darker tattoo. I like the dark that's in this flower here, but when we get up here, you lose this back flower because it just kind of feels like it becomes part of this handle because all the shading is almost identical in the way it's done. That would have been cool to see a little bit more variation from the handle to the flower in the background, which some of that stuff is all done in the design portion. And, that's all I'm saying about this. But as far as execution wise, it's not bad. I don't really know how long you've been at it or whatnot. It would better help us understand. If it's been 20 years, maybe there's a few more things to talk about, but not bad. What the else? I would just work on getting a little more value in the shades and the grays. What do we got? I think it's just dark. Yeah, and then ink thinks it looks fine. So hard to say, everybody. Is that Chris? Chris, you over there? Is that Chris? Guy was shaky. Man, I thought the lines looked pretty good, man. I really do, Chris. If he was shaking in that portion of the body, sometimes just has those little natural twitches. They're annoying. You just kind of, what I do is I just kind of push a little harder with my hand. You're not hurting your client. You're just kind of leveling it out, the twitches a little bit. Off more than one for around 3 years. Yeah, it's not bad. I really like the line work in it. It's consistent. It's clean. And I can definitely appreciate that. And I like this down here, even if this up here. But again, that flower in the back just kind of becomes one. But yeah, nice stuff, Chris. Thanks for that, man. John Elmore. Okay, hi Dave. John from the UK. Been tattooing for about 6 months now, but only a few hours a week. Always just going to be a hobby, but would like to hear what you think so far. Okay, so you've been doing this for about 6 months, a few hours a week, maybe, a couple days, hour here and there. Just going to be a hobby. All right, fair enough. You're on fake skin, so can't beat you up there. Okay, well, let's take a look through here. Well, I will say, as I just start down here, what I like so far is this hand right here. The thick lines around the outside, it looks pretty smooth. Even if you built this up or went over it, I still like that thick lining around the outside of that hand. Very smooth, saturated, consistent, even a little bit of shading inside there. If I hope this isn't a finished piece. If it's a finished piece, I spend a little bit more. I'd go back, maybe spend a little more time on it. Maybe put a little bit more dark behind the bottle just to push things forward and backwards. Lining's pretty good in a lot of places, actually. These circles are relatively smooth. Some of the lining is just a little on the lighter side. I'm sure trying to find your consistency with depth and whatnot can be tricky. Or it was a choice to maybe have a lighter gray here. Not sure. So lining, well, it looks smooth, though. That's what I appreciate about this line work. It looks smooth. I don't see a bunch of jags in it. It's just some spots, again, just aren't quite saturated all the way. But this fake skin can be a real pain in the butt for that exact thing. And for not having a lot of time to work on it, it's not bad. I wish we spent a little bit more time shading it because the lines aren't bad at all. A little bit more time, push a little bit more dark into it. Move stuff around a little bit more. I'm sure you can get back into this and work this a little bit more. Let's see here. Not my favorite as far as the imagery and the whole thing. It just kind of, again, shading is probably going to be something you want to work on because these lines are improving. Overall, I think your line work is all right, especially for where you're at with fake skin, not getting a lot of practice. I would work a little bit more on the shading. We don't have a whole lot of value in the handkerchief skull teeth looking thing. And you could do this on paper as well, like really try to figure out where you want to put your values at. That way when you come here, it's a little bit quicker. But yeah, I think you got some good stuff going on there. 6 months, a few hours a week. Lining's looking pretty stinking decent. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with next, man. Thanks for sending that in. Jeremy. Hey, guys, did this yesterday. Been taking in your tips and constructive criticism tried some different things, kind of turned out like a charcoal sketch vibe. Anyways, thanks for looking. Happy Sunday. All right, Andy, I'm going to use the restroom real quick, and we'll
Yeah.
check it out. I'm going to take you in.
About there, that'll be fine.
Good?
Dev.
All right,
I'll
cool.
just get you to go in a bit further when you come back. But usual thing, I guess this is Jeremy. Yeah, it's Jeremy. Usual thing, it does have such a feel of a charcoal sketch, and this must be where your work always seems to take you and leans towards. And it just, even though there's good bits and there's bad bits in it, I still quite like this effect. It looks like it's been done with just a rough piece of charcoal and a finger, and just on paper and just smudged in. And that what does stand out to me is the heavy use of dark on the right hand side of the face. Now, it just seems a little dark for me, but if you may have just sort of like blended it off a bit more around the hair and blended it off a bit further out, we may have got a better feel on this piece on that side. And that the hair, you got some dark tones. It's your usual style throughout on the hair for this one. This is just a style that you seem to have developed, Jeremy. It seems to work for you. It's not that it's hyper realistic or realistic. You just seem to get that antique photo, rough charcoal effect finish to it. But this bit just seems a little bit darker than the rest of the stuff. I quite like the lips that are in it. The nose seems to be in a decent form and shape.
Yeah.
I just think there could be a bit more detail in the eyes. And again, the eyelashes, it just seems to be, I don't know whether it's missing eyelashes or
It
what.
kind of feels like they're missing there.
Yeah, it just seems that the feeling there could have been a little bit more depth in the eyebrows for me. I still quite like the mouth. I don't quite like the mouth.
Right.
But then again, this seems to be his style. And this seems to be a style that is working towards. And it seems to be able to pull it off. It's just that really, really dark on the right-hand side. I think if it may have been blended out a bit further and smoothed out a bit further, I might have got a better feel for it. But this is a typical Jeremy style. He says you've tried a few other things.
Yeah, and don't be afraid. When you try new things, there's it's a lot of times they don't go the way you want them to go the first time. They get discouraged. You resort back to what you like to do, and then you kind of come out the door a little bit more, and you try that just a little bit more, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to incorporate that a little bit, and you're like, okay, I don't mind that too much, and then you can incorporate a little bit more. Don't be discouraged when you try something a little bit different. It doesn't go the way you think it should, because it usually never does. And then you kind of throw that away and go, oh God, I can't. You hate yourself for a few, and then but bring it back in, bring it back around, because I like what you have here, but I think we need to mix what you had before with a little bit of what you're doing now, and then slowly try it again, work it in a little bit more, because this is different. And I think the other one, what you normally do, is cool too. And once these two kind of start to combine, and it grows a little bit more, it's going to be really cool, man.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's his style, isn't it? This seems to be a style that is leaning towards, and everybody's got a style. Everybody's got a style, and it wouldn't be any good for us all to do the same style. And
absolutely.
This is a thing that brings people to you, is your style as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And it's gonna improve as well, that style. Right. And you're gonna try different things, and your end product in 6 months or a year could be totally different from what you thought it was gonna be. Just keep on working on it when you can. Let's see. Faithless. Hey, first time sending something in to get critiqued. I would like to really improve my art and my tattooing prowess. Me too. I did the tattoo on myself to get some practice and on real skin and some fake skin. Okay. All right. Let's see. So we got some fake skin here. All right. Let's take a look here. Yeah, all right. Well, you know, I think they're using the brand Real Skin. You can just kind of tell, and you can kind of tell, yeah. So they must be using Real Skin. It shows the line work, I think, is nice. Even in some of these small spots up here where the two lines might completely and utterly touch, and they really don't. There's a tiny little gap even in some of these little spots here. Line work looks pretty stinking good, and everywhere I can see it. And that simple shading, while it might not have a ton of values, it appears to be executed very nicely. I don't mind it. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at either, though. Some sort of fish thing, and whatever this is, you know, I'm just uneducated in the imagery I'm looking at. So maybe somebody who can shed some light on that, huh?
I mean,
oh, here, I'll go back.
First, it's quite simple what he asked in email. Your artwork. That's quite simple.
Oh, is that what he asked for?
Yeah.
Really like to improve. Okay, gotcha.
My art. I mean, that's easy. Pen and paper, pencil and paper. Pen and paper, pencil and paper. Start with pencil and paper.
Right.
That way, then you're gonna definitely learn with graphite values, dark, medium, light, all your throw tones and everything. But that's easy to do. That's just a case of sitting down, finding subjects to draw, things to draw, and everything. Boom. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. It will come eventually. And while you're doing that, it's then taking things that you're learning while you're doing that and translating them over into your tattoo work. But as well as, like Dave says, learning your line work. Line work's not particularly horrible in it. Some of the finer lines are just barely in there. That is maybe used whether it's changed to a finer needle or is used the same needle but not pressed on as much instead of changing to a finer needle.
Right.
But he has paid attention, like you say, to not just run a line down side of a line, and he has left the gaps in between the drips. And the packing, is colour packing the black in the hair. Just need to take it a little bit slower for that. But it's just practice. It's practice.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. They sent a piece on skin. This is clearly healed because there's hair all over it. We can definitely see where it's a bit blown out down here. At least they're not like crazy blowouts, but they're definitely blown out. I think it was probably a bit of an experience seeing your lines transferred to skin and how much harder that is. I feel like maybe you lacked a good stretch in some of these spots where it looks like the needle is probably just kind of bouncing off the skin, which caused a few passes to be required. Looks like you even put a little shading in some spots. So, I mean, what I'm going to tell you, you probably learned along the way here that you can look at this and know that, you know, hey, my lines are not saturated in some spots and in other spots are hammered in a bit hard. You need to work on that hand speed to voltage ratio there, and spend a little bit more time with the fake skin. But I mean, you're on human skin. If this is your own human skin, you're doing small tattoos. I can appreciate that though, Andy.
Yeah,
these are nice small tattoos.
Keeping them small.
Because if they didn't blast this whole area like this big with this one piece that I'm going to tattoo skin and then just go crazy. You cut these small little pieces, and so you can still do more as time goes on and see them improve as well. But,
it is, like you say, it's kept them small, kept them on himself, this, that, and other. What I am going to say, I'll just put it out there. I mean, I've seen a hell of a lot worse done than this. I've seen a hell of a lot worse done. People have sent in worse. Yes, there is blowouts. Yes, there is where it's picked up and dropped off a line and it's not quite got it back in there. Or a line ain't gone in, like the right at the top one, the right ear and the left ear, you can see the weights in the lines. But I'm sure is going to take away from this that, yeah, it's not quite gone as I expected it, you know, and he's done it on himself and he has kept it small. But what you want to do now is he wants to come back onto the skin, keep them small like this, and just keep at it. Just keep at it, but keep them small for the time being. Get your lines under control, mess around with a little bit of packing black and a little bit of shading, and then just expand from there on in.
Right. Yeah, and you can always even, you know, you can look at a piece and go, oh man, overall, I'm not totally a fan of it, right? But you can also look at your same piece and say, I like these things. I like what I did there. So, you know, I think that's what you have to do when you look at something. These lines were good. What did I do to make those happen? How can I do that again while avoiding these other things? It's a process. There's no real straight up answer. And it does help to let other people look at your stuff, and if you want to, and give their opinion, and then you take what you want and you leave what you want. You're like, screw you, I don't like your opinion. You leave that behind, you take what you want. All right. So again, not talking to you specifically, but everybody in general, we're just two individuals, you know. You talk to people all the time, they have totally different opinions. They'll see stuff in your work. It's kind of nice. Watson here, tattooing real skin for about a year, done fake skins for 6 to 8 months prior, only done 2 small butterflies in the second picture. Skull was one of my earlier real skin tattoos. Will include a healed, we scroll across the bottom here, picture. The send nudes is recent. The guy wanted a funny tattoo. All right, so we're 6 to 8 months with some fake skin. We've done 2 small butterflies. All right, so okay. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Tattooing real skin for a year. Okay, so 18 months overall, 8 months tattooing fake skin. All right, so let's come down here. Wow, okay. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right. Send nude. Dang, right on the chest there. Yowzers, man. Intriguing. Well, the black certainly looks saturated.
Yep, the black looks black.
Yeah, for the most part, the lines aren't too bad considering, you know, it's a chest and not too bad. Looks like the black goes up to the lines. Can't really, you can tell that the lines are in there, so that's nice. But yeah, all right. For what it is, I don't think it's too bad, Andy.
No, it's not so bad.
Oh, maybe up here, though. I do see in these dark pieces where you want to do your best to leave as much space inside of those, because it doesn't take long for that ink to expand and you lose what's inside the E there. That might be one. A little bit more space here, which is nice, but up here it looks like it got a little bit tight. Let's see. Shall we see what else we have, Andy?
Yeah, see what we've got.
Oh, well, this is more fun. Oh, yeah, not too bad. I don't mind these butterflies. I wish the little antenna things were a bit thinner. They seem a bit thick. But I don't know, Andy. I like these butterflies. Not too bad. This one, I'd say this, and then I just keep seeing stuff. I guess that works out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, same as I say again, the butterflies. What is it with butterflies? Somewhere along the line, you look at these butterflies that a lot of people are doing, and they drop the ball in it somewhere. It's like the top left butterfly.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bottom two wings, left to right, they're different. They've got different markings. They've got different markings in them, and 99.9% of the time, they will be the same. The markings, the vein work in either side of them will be the same. But for some reason, people like to do them different. And with you, the line up on the antennae should be a lot thinner.
Right.
3-5 round liner running it up to there on the top. But,
yeah.
I mean, for what they are, the black's packed in. Looks to be packed in.
Yeah, we've seen these butterflies so often, and what usually kills them, it's like you can get past some stuff, but the lines on the inside are usually really botched or they're good. And these are somewhere in the middle there. Because if you really botch the inside lines on those butterflies, there's not a lot going on there. It's a lot of black and a little bit of whip shading, which is why they're pretty nice to, practice with. And for the most part, the lines inside the feathers inside the wings are relatively decent, so it saves it overall. So what I like sometimes when they leave a little opening for a little highlight on the body there, it just helps a little bit. But overall, I think this isn't bad. It could use a little white if you wanted to, but that's subjective as well. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, okay. So this maybe saturated good. Okay, yeah. All right. Digging it a little bit. Not bad. I like what we got in the background here. I like this dirt bike back here. Check. I like this little remote control car down here. Check. So we're doing those things correct. But then we come here. And the saturation is just not there.
Yes.
And it's truly scratchy.
It's rough, is this one.
Yeah.
I'll just put it out there. It's rough.
It's
rough, and this one is not very good.
No.
This is a classic case of bitten off more than you can chew.
Yeah. It can happen. Early on, you do a couple tattoos and you're like, oh, these are pretty decent. Let's go big. Let's do it. And your buddy's like, yeah, man, give me that. And you're like, all right, screw it. Let's do it. Hopefully you learn from this and go, okay, got to find a middle ground, right?
Yeah. There's no smooth blending. There's not the skin breaks that are in there with the tones and everything that's around it just don't work. They just don't read, unfortunately. Right. Then we've got lines around areas. We've got lines, black lines around areas that I can still see where it should have solid black up to it.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not gonna solid black up to it, and you're using a lighter tone, but you want to you want to line it, use a light. Use a light grey to line it. If you're worried about losing your stencil, that you can bloodline it. You can light line it. Can be touched up.
Just wash it off with baby oil.
It can be touched up, but I don't think there's much rescue in this one. But best will it world, you can make it look better.
I would love to get my hands on this. I mean, it would be a love-hate relationship, but I would love to improve it, and that's not, it needs just the proper shades put in. This is like very, I don't know, the blacks aren't black, the lights, everything's kind of, and I think it is, like Joey said, just really moving way too fast.
Yeah, it's like they've started it and thought, I don't want to be here now. I don't want to finish this. I've bitten off more than I can chew.
And this is a rough spot too, man. This isn't where you really want to be when you're like, yeah, let's do a big piece, especially up in here. I mean, if everything else was nice and we get up here and we get this sort of a look, not quite to this level, you're like, okay, I kind of get that. But
oof. Yeah, it's like you say, don't want to be here, don't want to do it. I've got line work and it's like, oh crap, just don't want to do this now. It's not going to go how I want it to go, so I just don't want to do it, but I've got to finish it. So I'll just throw something in there, and that's what this looks like, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. Just a little bit outside of their wheelhouse. Well, maybe. Oh, okay. Well, somebody asked, I'd like to see it healed. And it is healed. And somehow it's really hard to read. I do like it better healed, thank goodness. But but the problem also healed now is it's even more monotone than it was before. It's even more like tonal. You get lost in what's happening here, well, mainly everywhere except for you see eyes and a nose. But we got a fresh one down here now too. That's a fresh one.
Established 1983. That looks well.
Yeah, right.
I prefer that to Skull, I'll be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Even the lining down here don't look too bad. I mean, most of this.
Yeah.
A few little spots here and there, but I mean, there's things they can do.
Like I said, I think with Skull it's a case of shit, shouldn't have done this. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah, especially if we look across what we're like, okay,
yeah,
cool, butterflies. All right, send nudes, fair enough. But then, yeah, we
it
have
sounded
even
like a
this,
good idea. It sounded like a good idea, but in practice, it was like, don't want to be here now. I'm off.
yeah. It can be weird when the first time you do a large piece, you're like, wow, to do
Yeah.
this properly, it's probably going to take me longer. And then you're new, so it takes twice as long as it should anyhow. We got a Freddy Krueger piece. Hey, Dave and Andy. Name's Charles. Been watching for a while. First time sending something in. I've been practicing about 6 months. Very little due to time, but it's something I did a little bit of 18 years ago, but didn't keep up with it, and am now trying to get back into it. Just started doing more realistic pics. Would love to know what you guys think. All right, let's take a look. Bam. Hey, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for what it is. Not terrible. I don't think this is terribly large. Hard to say. Don't look too big.
Well, first
That's
off,
what she said.
First
That's
off,
cool too. All right, let me go back.
we know
Go ahead.
exactly who it is, so that's always a bonus.
Absolutely. I'm gonna grab another Mountain Dew or a Sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll save it.
Yeah. Is totally readable. It's totally readable, and if you're just dabbling in it and getting sorted, then that's fine. Some of the line work doesn't look bad. I'm looking down the fingers, the knives, the blades on the fingers. They're looking pretty parallel, pretty even. The little like half circles denoting rivets in the glove, they're looking well. Some of your tonnage needs a little bit of separation. And that could just do a little bit more separation, a little bit smoothing out. The hat, I would like to have seen a little bit more black on the outside of the hat, just to give it for the look of the folds and wrinkles under that you can see. But I mean, is it the best? No. Is it realism? No, it's not realism. Does it look? Does it read? Yes, it reads.
Yeah, you look at it, you know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part is probably the gloves, just because they're the shading's pretty smooth. I like that they can cover pretty decent areas and keep a pretty consistent. I'll say texture, but I don't think that's the right word. But I'm definitely with you, Andy. I wish we would have brought a bit more dark across here, maybe even across the brim a bit more, even under the because the light's coming from over here, hitting him. There should be a little bit more of a shadow under here, so maybe just a little bit more darks in a lot of ways. I think the face, it's not bad. I mean, he reads perfectly fine. I think you can get away with these sort of dark spots because it's not realistic. It's like semi-realistic mixed with some sort of like some other style. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'll tell you what he's managed to capture with Freddy. You know what he's managed to capture on the face for Freddy for me?
Yeah.
Is on the nose, he's managed to catch Freddy's nose where it's bent over and comes in. And if you look at the front of the nose, it looks like it's bent. Yeah, but the actual bridge, like the bridge of the Freddy's nose, actually is sort of like bent over and comes in. And he's managed to capture that. Even in the style that he's done, he managed to capture it like coming over and like flattening in towards the tip, and spreading across his face.
Right.
So that's that thing. But I could totally get where it is and it's totally readable.
Definitely. It's cool.
It's just a case of his honing his skills and honing in the artistic side of it, I think.
Yeah, it's a fun tattoo. I could see somebody wearing it as is and it not trying to be this thing. It's this thing, It's not. Because it wasn't meant to be that other thing, I think. If any of that blah, blah, blah makes sense. Similar here. We're not trying to.
No, I prefer this Hellraiser.
Yeah, hit the nail right on the head with some perfect realistic piece. It's not supposed to be that. At least it's not reading that way, but it is cool. It's cool because the contrast is solid.
Yeah, I like
some feedback through your speakers.
I am.
Yeah, I can hear myself on your end.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh crap! Oh come on, that's just started. What about now?
Blah blah blah.
Can you
A
hear
little
it?
bit. I don't know if it doesn't bother anybody else, it's not
Try.
that big.
What
a deal
about
to
that,
me.
Dave? Is that any better?
Let me see.
Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
that's a little bit better.
That's a little bit better.
Cool. But yeah, I think the Hellraiser is cool too, man. It's again just stylized in a very similar fashion, and in the skin contrast is really nice. And so they have a lot of that, and then they have some really light shading in here as well. Well put. I like it.
Yeah, I do like that. It'd be nice if the all the purple from the stencil was out
That's
of it,
true.
because it is losing on the pins in the head. Is, you know, the spaces in between them, because they're still filled with the purple stencil. So, but like I say, I like this piece.
Yeah, I do too. Overall, I like what he's doing here, Charles. I think it's really cool, man. And look forward to seeing more. Really. Okay, guys, we got about 30 more minutes. I got get a little rest. Even though I'm complaining again, Andy. It's like way late over there, or early morning. But Kyle Black, recent sticker one I did. You can also see it next to my very first tattoos from the beginning, below it, and to the sides of it. Okay, sorry for the gloss. Had a bit of ointment on the tattoo still from the session and didn't notice the sheen until it was too late. Hate when that happens. Also threw in another bonus one. A Pikachu. Did this on a bouncy client. I've never had what bouncy client is, but it was a fun bit of color to do. I mean, I'm sure I know what you're saying. It was a hard time there. Oh, that's cool, I think. Let me get a bit closer and make sure I'm not running my mouth here. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool.
It's a cool little banger tattoo.
Yeah. I like it. I like the little white dots in the hair. That gives it that, what is that look? That spark, I don't remember.
Sparkly look.
Sparkly look.
Yeah.
Shadows are in decent places. Lines look all right, especially considering I think this is around the elbow ditchy-ish area. I'm not the biggest fan of the work that's around it. I don't know, Andy. Is it just me? I'm not really a big fan of the way this face kind of looks here in the Yoda. Looks a bit
it looks
dirty or grungy or something. But I think that's what they were talking about before. Something about the pieces around them. But this one looks cool. I don't do skin color tattoos.
That's nice and bright.
Yeah, it looks like it should heal out all right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this looks cool. More of the dot stuff, but it's working. This lineup here is a little bit hard, but hey, I think it's going to work overall.
Yeah.
Colors seem saturated all right.
Thanks,
yeah,
color seems saturated, and everything. And we the line on whatever it is that's running up over top looks a bit drilled,
right?
You know, near the top. But overall, yeah, it's all just drop in a bit on that one, Dave.
Sure. You let me know where.
Oh no, it's all right. I was looking at just at the hat on the left hand side, but it's a Pokeball in it, and the little black dot in the center of the Pokeball. It looks like it looks like a blowout on end on left hand side of the hat, but it isn't. It's
okay.
There, you know, just to your left a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, over here.
There. Got you right a bit. Got you right a bit. Just a little bit. You can just in the middle of that white section there on edge. Up a little bit there. It's just like a little
here.
On there. Just think, no, it's just above it. Just there. See, just up and there. Just up until your left a bit. No, you're missing it.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it, man.
Center. I'm going to point at the screen as well, but you can't see
right?
My screen.
I don't see.
It's not.
See it.
It's not. It's the center of in the center of the Pokeball. They have like a black dot, and it's right on the edge of the hat.
I think that's the center of the Pokeball where the.
Yeah, it looked like a blowout for when you were pulled further out.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
But it isn't when. That's why I got you to zoom in. But it's not. It's the center of the Pokeball.
No, I can't. I don't think it'll let me zoom in any further now. As far as I can go.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think other than a few of the lines, the colors seemed pretty well saturated. Let's go back and look at this one. Yeah, looks pretty good. Oh, so I didn't realize this was Kyle. My bad, Kyle. I would have asked questions. So this is from a couple years ago. This Yoda. Okay, all right. And I'm sure you learned everything you had to learn from watching the Yoda heal and whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty cool here. I do like that, and I really do like the little sparkle bits inside of the Pikachu. That's quite nice. Yep.
Nice colour sticker tattoo.
Yeah. Nice little banger.
Cool. Yep.
Anybody can have this issue with the line work up there.
Mhm.
It can happen. But cool. Thanks, Kyle.
Cool.
Appreciate you sending it in, man. Thanks for always being in the chat too. Appreciate it. Scars, you're up next. Let's see. Hey, this is my 11th and 12th time on fake skin. Apparently my feedback and your appreciate any feedback in your time. Love what you do. Thanks. Best regards. So this is Scars, 11th and 12th tattoo on fake skin. Oh, buddy.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh man, that looks so cool. I like these pieces. We'll get a little close. Let me see if do you break them down? Yeah, you do individually. Oh, okay. Actually, well, this one has its own picture. This is quite large. It appears large because I'm telling by what's in the background a little bit. I could be wrong, but it's a pretty good chunk of fake skin here.
This is cool.
Yeah, really nice.
And I'm assuming Scars. I'm assuming that this person can actually draw on paper as well. You know, just by looking at the tones, the values, the art composition, and how it's put together, and how they've used the tones and the values to create depth on this. And this would look mad on real skin healed, because obviously when it healed, it would lighten up in certain areas.
Yeah. And it would just soften out.
This would look absolutely mad if it was on real skin and healed up. Now, obviously, the problem for this person will be getting themselves away from fake skin to working on real skin, because it doesn't behave in the same way. You can't. It's not a hard surface. It doesn't sit still. It breathes. It twitches. It complains, and everything. But yeah, I like this. I do really like this piece, and I think it's a really nice piece.
Yeah, I like how they've layered different bits as well. It would be even greater to see it with full purple off of it, just for like up in these regions. But I've seen this image around, so I have a general idea of what it's supposed to look like, and it looks really cool here. One of my favorite things, honestly, is the bottom down here.
Lovely,
it just feels so nicely like layered with the different petals and whatnot. Just smart use of black and shading and little touches and whatnot. And so really cool.
This person studied art.
For sure.
They have studied. They didn't chat, because obviously they have studied art.
Yeah, that's Scars in the chat.
And it shows. It does show. I mean, this other piece, that rose is beautiful. That tree, that silhouette of that tree that runs up the side of the face with just them tiny little dots for branches.
Yeah.
And everything.
It's really smartly done.
Is on point. It's done right. It's done tastefully and everything. And I like the mouth on this one. I particularly like the mouth on this one. And you know that black line, and it feels like it curves down and through and runs over. And then on the left-hand side of the face, where they've got this idea of, it looks like tree trunks going up in the mist, on the darker side of the forest. And it's, again, this is somebody where you can actually tell has studied art.
Yeah, this person knows how to draw, and it's really cool to watch that transfer to skin, fake skin, and then to real skin. I would definitely stick with it, because it would love to see your stuff eventually on skin someday, develop and become. And take your time. There's no need to rush. It's looking really good. I don't think we have really anything we can critique you on. Just keep doing it and send us some more so we can take a look at it and watch as your journey develops, man.
That's only 11.
You said that was number
11 and 12 on skin, on fake skin.
What's going on with you guys, man? 11th and 12th. Couldn't tattoo that on human skin, make it look that good, and that would be tattoo thousands or whatever. Mary Cat Rouser. Do we got any words? Let me check, see if you got words in this. Hey, stop it, mouse. There we go. Okay. This is from Jason R. I would like some honest feedback either by email or on your channel. I am a watcher. It is under my wife's name, Mary. So that is Mary in the chat, Mary Rouser. But that is Jason who is in the chat. Whatever, it's his wife's account or something like that. Okay, let's get a look-see here. All right, I don't think those lines are too bad, Andy, especially considering what they are. All those constant swoop in different angles. The circle, even though we got a lot of glare here, that circle seems to be pretty consistent.
Yeah. And what I'm going to give him points for is you go back to the center of that Dreamcatcher.
Sure.
Yeah. Look around the center of that Dreamcatcher where all the lines come in, and they leave that tiny little. You've got the tiny little like oval part all the way around it, and for most of it, they're all even. All that space, and I would say that 95% of the spacings, as you look around that Dreamcatcher, is even.
Well spaced, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you have got some, and I don't know whether it's the angle. Like I say, some of the circles, most of the circles are in right place. There's one off on right hand side that just don't look in the same place because it should be on an intersection, and it's more on that yellow one there.
Yeah,
you're right, it's just off. But mad props on circles, look okay. I'm with you, the line work looks mostly okay. Where I have a problem is where we get down to the bottom here. That's jacked.
Yeah.
That Dreamcatcher there is, compared to the rest of it, that little Dreamcatcher there is jacked. You can tell by the line work.
Oh, yeah.
It's banged in. It's not in the same caliber as the one. And the colour work in them feathers at the bottom, there's no blending. It's just stripes. And they're not wall-to-wall saturation either. I can see holidays in between some of the colours, and it just looks, if them feathers had been blended out, I think it would have looked a lot better. And instead of having the stripes going down, of colour going down the feathers, I wonder if it would have actually looked better if they'd have gone in V's, down the feathers. Instead of going that way, start top, and then it'd have been easier to blend every colour into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down it. I just think when you get away from the Dreamcatcher at the top and you get down to the bottom, this is the part that doesn't gel with it, and that little Dreamcatcher's jacked. Yeah,
I think that it just kind of either got away from you. I don't know if maybe the stencil got away from you. I'm not sure. Because the outside of this little Dreamcatcher is not too bad, but on the inside, like we're coming around, it looks pretty decent here, and then we start to lose it a little bit. Not sure what's happening, and definitely need to be blending these colors. When you put them right next to each other, unless that's exactly what you wanted it to be, then I would just say, I don't know. It's definitely wild color, but it just doesn't feel feathery because of the way the color's in there. It's put in there pretty solidly, maybe.
Yeah.
But then again, you look at the red and it feels a little bit light in some spots. But like I said, you got to put the color in. I don't know. Are you using a mag? We're using a round shader to put this, put the color in there, because you got to put the color where you want it, and then move your hand a little bit quicker, blend it out, allow another color to blend in with it. If you're trying to blend these colors together, but if you're not, then disregard. I think Andy hit it all on the head. Okay, now we have a totally different piece here. Let's see. Well, if I just look at this personally, Andy, I like the head. I like this area up here. I think the part where it gets a little harsh is the lining in the legs here. Clearly running these longer lines and having maybe more difficulty stretching and running the line. Because down here, the feet look all right for the most part. The color's a little undersaturated in the blues.
It's a little bit.
These browns look pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little bit undersaturated. It may be in the blue, maybe all of this, maybe the pictures. I mean, the lines through the pants, they're a little bit hesitant as whether they're actually in or not in. But I actually prefer this piece to the Dreamcatcher piece. The actual overall look.
Yeah. It definitely looks like a
And-
more complete, finished looking.
And it looks more clean, you know, and cleanly executed piece to the Dreamcatcher. Like you said, the face, I like the face. The use of the couple of browns and everything.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if could have picked a little bit of that other brown in the tail. The blue looks in the jacket, especially, but looks a little bit patchy. But overall, I don't think it's a particularly bad piece, and it's preferable to the Dreamcatcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have been if I were, I don't know how long you've been at it, but if I were working at it and learning, you know, looking at what we had before to this, I don't know which order it was in, I'd be happy with this. But like, wow, you know what? Cool. I watch it heal and be like, okay, see this, see that, pick up a few things, move along. Not bad. Not bad. I think it's going to heal pretty well too. You know, luckily lines sometimes, if not too horrible, will smooth out a little bit in the wash. Okay, we have another Dreamcatcher. Okay. You know, I mean, I think that you're smart. You're really working on line work, and there's a lot of them here. And you know, for the most part, they're not bad. But it can be tricky, you know, on this arm where the surfaces are always moved a little bit. I don't know if it's the way the photo gets taken or the way the arm is shaped, kind of makes some spots look a little thicker than others. Shape wise, as far as the circle goes, I like that you didn't get too crazy with the colors. Personally,
Yeah,
I like this toned down version. It's not too bad. The colors seem pretty well saturated here. Like they seem like they're saturated. As long as they heal okay, you'll know that. Obviously, if it's on you or somebody you know, you can watch it heal. If it heals okay, then you'll know, like, hey, all right, my saturation's pretty good.
He's only been tattooing for a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, then, well, hey, that's not bad at all for a month. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
So like I say, it's just things you're gonna have to
At
hone
least
in
he's
on.
practicing these lines.
Yeah. Just the thing that gets me with this one, and per se, it's just from a design element, where you've got the, you know, the outer ring of the top Dreamcatcher, and it's done this rope effect, you know, through it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have a completely round line on the outside. Unfortunately, you would have still got that roped effect, and it's
on both.
I've just had to bring it up because it's bugging me.
No, that's right on, dude.
Where it just goes smooth all the way around, and you've got that like roped effect inside it. I think you could have done yourself a favour and done the scallops and roped effect all the way around it.
Definitely
personal choice, but you're a month in, and I don't think you're doing too bad. What I would say, a month in, you need to practice. You need to also do some fake skin work. It's like we said to other people. Yeah, human skin's free. People are willing to give it all up, but at the end of the day, as you're going along and you get better and better and better, then you've got to sit and look at these pieces, and then somebody might look at your work and think, "Well, I got crappy end at stick here." You know what I mean? And then can you cover it up, or they're either try to have some laser work done on it to fade it to have it covered up.
True.
So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful.
Yep. That's good advice as well. Here I think we just suffer from a lack of saturation. Actually, it appears like it's saturated. You know, especially if you're looking at it, like, yeah, okay, it's all black, but it's definitely not. You can see how open this is. This is going to heal extremely patchy and light. There's a bit of darker spots, but where it's also, it's just not filled properly.
And it's not up to lines.
No, and some of the lines aren't quite saturated either, which I guess is better to err on the side of caution and maybe not drill them in like we do see some do. But yeah.
The other thing as well is I'd love to know zoom in on bottom character.
Oh, excuse me.
Top left-hand corner at bottom character. I'd love to know what that little line's doing, wisping off there on left-hand side.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like...
Because unfortunately, you see, if that's a client and that's a tattoo mark and it's not supposed to be there, they are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And as a tattoo artist, that's stuff that you can't afford to be doing.
You'll see this. There'll be when you take a break. I see that stuff. You're like, oh crap, they saw it. Oh yeah, they saw it. They saw it. Oh, could you turn? Nah, I'm just being mean now. But there's no lighting here, so it's really kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this.
No, that I think that's meant to be a wolf.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be black. They're probably lining around what might be a black area to go back and fill in black. But this is a large area to fill, and there are some redeeming lines here. It's just, again, hard to read. Should I go to the next one, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck? I have no idea what I'm looking at. It looks intentional, so I don't know. Is this still Jason? Are we still? Yeah, we're still looking at Jason's work. What is this, Jason? Aha, another angle on that one.
That's another angle on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just not sure what this one is. It is a name. Okay. Hey, cool, man. I have no idea if everything's supposed to look like that or not. So I'm gonna say we're gonna pass on that one. Send us this one if you finish this one. That way, and with a little bit more light on it next week, maybe that'd be cool. Cool, man. Thanks for sending those in. Thanks for letting us take a look at them. Without you guys sending stuff in, there's nothing. You know, look up there at me and Andy's mugs. It's just
not for us to look at.
Oh, it says Sahara in Arabic. Oh, boy, they really break that word down. It's kind of a much larger word than in Arabic. It's like 4 characters. Interesting. All right, Unity Tattoo. Hello, I'm tattooing 1.5 years. Love your channel. I appreciate what you're doing, and hopefully you have some tips. Greetings from the Netherlands. Hey, maybe, I don't know. You know, tips aren't included. Okay. I don't know about this one, Andy. I'm just not sure.
Where it gets lost for me is between the head and the body, with it being all black. It looks like a light bulb with legs.
Yeah. There's no differentiating between things.
What I am going to say is the black is in there. We've got some drop shadowing going on, but it doesn't look. Some of the drop shadowing doesn't seem to fit the body,
right?
For some reason. And that. Now, if the drop shadowing hadn't have been there and I was just looking at the spider, I would have said to you, generally, yes, it's not bad. It's just the body is between the body and the head. It just looks as if it's got lost in translation. And this looks quite a big tattoo. It's on somebody's side beside.
It is. Yeah, dude, I thought that was like on a knee.
So you have got. They've had plenty of space to get the detail in this, and for a tattoo that size, then, and I've just sort of for a tattoo that size, it's quite detailless. It's lacking in detail.
Yeah, but that big, you could have done a lot with that.
Yeah, for what you could have put there, and that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think the drop shadow, and the problem here is that they brought all the lines right to where they're supposed to go, right? Like, had you lined this to where the leg would be, even though I know it's all black, but had you lined that to where it was supposed to be, had you put, even though it's black, had you put the, the head in there versus the bum or whatever, but because it's just kind of reading as a, I don't know, it's not reading correctly because the it's kind of lost in the black, if you will, and then definitely the drop shadow. Let's see what else we got though. Let's see what else we got. Some good stuff here. All right. Yeah, I don't know where this is located at, but we definitely look like we have what might be some harsh lines here. Might have some blood. It's hard to say. Sometimes you take photos and they tell you otherwise, but I like this black. This black looks pretty saturated here on the edge, really on the far edge. all the way out here, which means this is like another shade down, it looks like, which is kind of cool. And I just wish the lines were just maybe a little bit smoother throughout. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, it's there. It's in.
Yeah.
And that the only thing that's bugging me on this one is
Sure.
the base of the cup. It's the left hand side, the right hand. It's like, whoa! It's one.
It looks like it's wearing a shoe.
Yeah,
It's
looking.
It's a toe.
The base of the cup looks weird, but I'd love to have seen reference for this.
Mm-hmm.
You could have probably critiqued it a bit more, but it's in. It's solid. It's in. Some of them lines that either I'd hesitate to guess as they're either blown out or they're just on borderline. They may heal off. They may be okay, but they just seem to have a dark halo around some of them lines.
Right, little haze. Well, let's check out the next one. Oh, this is probably from here. This is my favorite one we've looked at.
Yep, I would agree with
it just a little bit, and yeah, all the lines, they all look relatively consistent. Maybe a little light on that one, but overall, and I like the little bit of like dot / stipple shading we have in here. It's minimal. It works. Yeah, not a whole lot to say here. This is a decent.
No, there's not a great deal. Like I say, it's readable. Dot work could have had a little bit more in some of the dot work area just to give it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Deeper color, especially in backs at joints and things. But that's something that they're going to pick up with experience as they go along. But what I would just say to this person is watch your line working in the skin. Watch for consistency, because the bottom of that tail, the segment, the second to last segment on the tail is nowhere near. That's very lightly put in.
Right, this one right here.
That. So just keep an eye on that, and just keep an eye for not being in too deep, because some of the other work you were right on the line between blowout and it being okay.
Definitely. Let me see. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna be able to get to everybody today, unfortunately. It just depends on how many people are here or how many people decide to send stuff in. Some weeks people don't. They're in the chat, hang out, don't have anything to send in. This week appears that we got quite a few more. So you can absolutely. Well, I took the email off the bottom of the screen just so people don't send them in and get what I don't want to waste any of your time, but we're probably going to get through a couple more, and then we're going to have to start saying goodbye, guys. But thank you, everybody, for being here, hanging out in the chat. We're not leaving right now, but we got about 10 more minutes, and we're going to be jumping out of here. Salty Scrunt sends in this little guy here. This is pretty cool. It's not terribly large. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty decent to me. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not terribly large. It's kept it small. I mean, that's you can see that's his finger. So it's
about as long as your finger, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit less.
It's quite simplistic. Keeps it to point.
Right, it's delicate.
And for what there is in it, the only part that I'm looking at that maybe a problem is the right hand fin. I don't know whether the line looks a bit light, round the edge of it. But it's just with the contrast, because the rest of the fish is quite heavily contrasted. That right hand fin is very lightly contrasted, and I can just see the line. It just seems to be very, very thin and very light. But there's not a great deal of detail or anything to critique on this one, to be fair.
It'd be cool to see this one healed. Salty, so we can see how it all worked out. But nice stuff, man. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Jack Davis is up next. All right, what do we got here? Any words? Nothing here. We're gonna move a little bit quicker just so we can get through. Maybe
cutthroat razor.
Yep. Well, this the color seems to be saturated pretty decently here. Line looks all right. I'm gonna kind of blaze. I'm gonna let you. What do you think about
color
this?
Color work looks okay.
That
This
pink's a
one
little.
is looking a bit monotone, lip facing hair. Would have should have had in the folds of the hair right up against them back lines should have been black, whipped out. Would have made it pop out.
Yeah,
for this.
I think no
Generally,
pink and put black back there.
Yeah. And it could probably, this one could probably benefit from another visit. Just get some solid black in there.
Yeah.
The line's generally looking okay. The circular beads are not too bad at all. They're pretty much circular.
Yeah.
But like I said, don't be scared with this because it's semi like traditional. In the hair should have been black, dark black, fading out to grey, and that's where it's really lacking. Is this one? Same in the rope cords around it, black. You've shied away from using that on here.
Okay, I'd be hey, if this one heals up all right, that'd be cool, but this is a rough area here on the knuckles to heal, especially with light shades. I'm not saying it can't be done or nothing. I'm just saying depends on how it was done. And some of the colors seem a little lightly saturated, so especially up in the reds and stuff. Be really interested to see how this heals. It'd be easier to critique it with a fresh and a healed one. But
what I'm going to quickly say is nice use of colours. I like how it's got
it's the hand,
like how you've run from a darker blue to a lighter blue and what looks to be white. Your grey work around the outside for the shielding. You've got like a mid, a dark, and you've got just a bit darker around the bottom. What will be nice is to see this one healed because back of the hand takes some, and it may not be any fault of your own, maybe your client's. Takes a lot of punishment because it's in and out of water all the time. Of us washing his hands, daily working live, and they generally suffer from healing. But the line work, it's square when it's meant to be square. It's pointed where it's meant to be pointed. Just the line work where it comes into knuckles, very bottom knuckle there, where it's got the cut on, just looks to be a little bit missing. Does the line? But overall, a good job, man. Good job.
Yeah, be cool. I mean, it looks cool right now. I really am rooting for you that it pulls through. Well, that's some saturated black, really. Only thing that really bugs me are a few of whatever.
A few line issues.
Here.
Yeah.
A few of those like outside the lines and consistency of shapes. I mean, there's not a lot going on here, so you want to definitely make sure what you have is pretty decent. And saturation definitely seems pretty good. I just wish it was inside the lines a little bit better. Maybe they were smoothed out here and there a little bit nicer. But, man, that is a big old black guitar. Take up a lot of space, but okay. We are boogieing on to the next one. All right. Martin, hey, guys. Just wanted to share my 10th tattoo I did. It is sort of dark. Fantasy Willow Flash, and I am also trying to get to know the whip technique of shading and such. Okay, let's look at it from a distance. Okay, and then we will get closer. A little bit close, not too close. I think this thing is like bleeding when you took the photo. This looks pretty harsh. Yeah, it looks harsh throughout. Everywhere is pretty clear. I think you might be running your machine just a bit too fast, and it's just kind of punching the skin so much. It's not blown out in all these places, but it's just running pretty stinking fast. And I think if you slow that machine down and in turn able to slow yourself down, it'd be a little bit better off.
It's running hard. Is that them lines? They are like I say, a lot of blood on back of that heavy pack black. At least get you before you take your photos. Get your bleeding stemmed if they're bleeding. But yeah, you do look to it does like you said there. It looks like he's running his machine a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
Here and yeah, I mean some of it actually looks like there is. I don't know whether it's shading or it looks to be a few little blowouts, in between lines. Just looks dark. You know, as it's been pushed in a bit too far. Look to have that little bit of shading in between some of these open lines, and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might need to slow your machine down and slow your hand down. Get a better
Definitely.
stretch.
I just noticed that. I didn't realize that was ink flip tattoo when we were looking at the hand tattoo. I just glanced over, was reading him. He said that's where he wanted. I have had tattoos, so I know how they heal. Well, that's good. If you know how they heal and you've seen that, then you already know they're going to heal fine. You don't have to worry about anything that I think or whatnot. All right. Next up is Haley. Thank you for sending it in, by the way. Hi, Haley. I've only been tattooing for about 6 weeks and only on fake skin. I know I need to slow down my lining, but hey, that's what practice is for. The last half, good one. Okay. The last half, good one. Gotcha. Gotcha. Sorry, I was checking out. Yeah. Okay, we're on fake skin. That's cool. Some of these lines look pretty decent for just a short period of time. I just might be the shading, I think, is where it's going to take a little bit more time, but that's natural. I think that's the way it goes sometimes. You spend your time trying to get the lines as good as you can, and then you incorporate the next thing down the road, which is shading, and it just feels a little patchy. But again, I think that's because something I'm learning to do too is slow down a little bit. And I think that's going to come with time. But that's what's going to smooth some of this stuff out, I think. Like how we see the shading down here. If we just slow down and maybe go the opposite way a little bit and then feather that out. Again, I give, advice, but I also should take some of my own as well. So that's something I'm trying to work on as well, is slowing down and then choosing the right shades and whatnot. But not bad for early on. Again, when you're putting like a dark in, you want to make sure that you get it up to that line down there, up to where the darkness is coming out of. It will definitely help big time. And if you carry that same mentality throughout the whole thing, it's going to sell a little bit more of the depth better.
Yeah, the dotted work is
the snake. All right, what do you think about that snake, Andy?
Well,
or the flower?
Flower looks, it's a bit lightly done. It's do with, again, just looks, the bit of shading that's put in just looks like it's just been scribbled in. There's no thought as to the direction of, shall we say, the petals and the flow and the contour that you can give with your shading. Could do with a bit more dark in the backs coming out to light and softening it a little bit more. It looks a bit scratchy, does the shading.
Yeah.
But where I am whacked is on this snake where it goes round for the belly. It's like,
it's a little
it's weird. It's really weird, especially at the top by the head. You know, where that it comes off, you wouldn't actually see.
Yeah, this whole thing going on right here.
Yeah, that line there, it's just weird. It's just throwing out off the head.
Yeah.
And that. But just need to work on everything overall, packing
yeah, that black's a bit undersaturated.
Yeah, it's patchy. Line work. You've tried doing some dot work on this, but you need to you're better off dropping to a smaller liner and putting more dots in and then spacing them out and getting them to get your shades in. They look a bit random to them dots, just scattered all over.
The scaling could, you got to take your time on that too, but all right, well, let's check out the next one here in the sake of moving through them. This one's a bit hard to read. I just realized now it is an octopus with flowers, but somewhere here in the middle, my eye gets a little lost. And, I'm not the quickest person in the world, so it could very well just be that. But again, I think it suffers from similar stuff. But you're early on, you learn, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The black is just really not saturated through here. and the lines are a bit gently put in. But again, you can get away with that because you're going to go back and fill that in. I like the little eye in there. That looks pretty cool. And the dot work is not bad either, with a little bit of some light shading to go along with it. I think it gives it a little bit of shape. But I think what's really hurting it, the main thing, is really just the black being unsaturated, looking kind of airy.
Yeah, and that lotus flower in the middle. There's so many leaves in it. You could have used a lotus flower, but one with not as many leaves in it, and left them a bit bigger and a bit more open.
Right.
It's a little bit busy for how relatively simple and uncomplicated the octopus is.
True.
The flower looks very busy and a lot going on, even just leaves wise, even though there's no dot work and no real shading in it. The actual flower itself just looks busy.
Yeah. So I think for the person, Haley, if anything, one of the things I would say is work on saturating those black areas, because that's at least going to take your work to another level, just having those black areas saturated properly. So find, like I've heard before, I think Joey's saying, find one or two things in a piece and try to just work on one or two things and then reevaluate. That's an easy one to start with, is saturating those blacks. Well, even though I say easy, it's really not easy, but at least it's something to start from. Okay, next up. Oh, this looks kind of cool. Not the best print, but I tried. All right, James, let's take a look, man.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, dude. I like it.
I don't think it's too bad.
No, I could see people liking this piece, even the way it is on them. It has this sort of like realistic yet stylized look to it, with the Los Angeles and whatnot.
What I'm going to say with this one is, it's got his reference on the right hand side.
Yeah,
it's got the pieces done on the left hand side. You look from one to other; they're pretty goddamn close.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like it.
It's taken what he's seen. It's taken what he's seen on the right hand side and put it on the left hand side. And it's pretty much true to what is worked off, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And then he put the Los Angeles sign in and everything, and come round the neck, and I don't think it's too bad.
No,
I don't think it's too bad at all.
No, I think I think Smoke said it has like a video game art feel, and I think that's where it's at. Because there are some spots, like the bridge should be just, in my opinion, just a little darker right through here. It has a little bit of like a thing there. I mean, it could just be, just soften the edges around here just a little bit more. I think it would have rounded out more. But who am I to, really nitpick? I think overall, it looks good. I like it.
It's like I said, this is nice to see that somebody that's put the reference at side of the work, and you can see how they've translated it up, and they've stuck to it pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice that they added the reference too.
Yeah, you see some of them that they'll have that reference there, and even on the left hand side, they look nothing like it.
Right. Yeah, they followed it.
But this is nice. It's been able to keep pretty much true to his reference, as well as add on other bits. Nice effort. Very
cool. Normally, you wouldn't want to like copy your reference right off of a tattoo, but you're practicing, so it really doesn't matter. In a lot of ways, why not, when you're practicing on fake skin, use a tattooed image as your practice and see if you can match that person's thing. It's just a good confidence booster.
He's done a really good job.
Yeah. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto in so long, man. It changed. I went to play it again like a few years ago, and there was just so much. I was so lost. I can't play video games anymore because I took like 10 years off, and I have no idea what's going on anymore. If you didn't play from like birth, you're horrible. At least that's my opinion. I still play sometimes. It's embarrassing, but it's fun. What's your opinion on this one? Is a bit old now. New verse 4 years. Oh, okay. So this is fresh tattoo. Oh, it's kind of a bit dark. And hard to read then. It was like black, white. A
little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. And I'm going to say off the bat that I'm assuming that it's still, it'll have faded, it'll have weathered in, but I'm assuming that it's hard, and it's still going to be hard to make out the raven I can see that the Raven's there, but I'm still assuming that it's going to be
hard to
maybe
see it
still
in the
quite hard.
next one. Hey,
Yeah.
this is cool. Haku, whoever sent us in, thanks for sending it in though, because we get the opportunity to look at a piece fresh and 4 years old, and that alone is just educational in my opinion. Aha, actually, it lasted a little bit better than I thought it was gonna last, to be honest. But you're right, the head of that is it gets a little lost in there, and the face. Let me see, what did that face look like? Okay, well, that face was pretty much that way before. Interesting. Well, it healed better than I had expected for 4 years, to be honest.
What I will say, it's held up better than what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought
Better
too.
than what I thought. So it just shows you that how you can be wrong sometimes. Them tones, some of the tones that look darker in the other photo have actually lightened up and come through now.
Yeah.
So that has helped it. But
it would be cool to go back in this again and put black in key spots, and now you'll get like the healed stuff will be lighter tones in the piece, and then some fresh black it would be kind of cool to go back and put some solid black in and just kind of reshape this thing after 4 years. But thanks for letting us check it out, man. My opinion on it, it healed all right, you know. Worse. All right, Vito, I saw you in the chat there. Well, I tried to push to get to as much as I could. We went over a little bit. I think we'll look at maybe one more after this, and then we'll have to jump off. Hi, another piece from me. A couple weeks ago, I sent you my fake skin tats. Pain from Naruto, a bunch of anime guys. Now I have done some tattoos on human skin, so here they are. Please tell me what I can do better, what's good, what's bad, etc. Thanks, greetings from Poland. Okay, we'll do our best, man. Well, this looks pretty cool from here. I think this looks nice. Let's get in a little bit. All right. Not too bad. I don't think this one looks too bad it sounds like he's just getting onto skin from a lot of time on fake skin. There's a few lines inside here that aren't as perfect, but the stippling seems okay.
Yeah, they're not small. What I've got is that big bold one that goes over the top.
You were this spot right here mainly.
Yeah, it just looks a bit weird, and
I'm not sure.
The consistency of it's not the same. That's the big one that jumps out on this one.
Yeah. Yep. That is it, and that's what stinks about doggone tattoos. You can have it's great. You can really like it, like doggone that one thing sticking out. Yeah. Oh, here we go. We have another angle, so we can see a little bit more. Yeah, that still remains as one of the
it still remains like that. It looks something that looks off with that top line.
Yeah. Minus that one, I don't mind it too much. Looks like it kind of comes over here and ends. Well, let's see what we got next. All right, wait, hold on. I think we have this. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I thought I saw it. So we'll look at the colored one and we'll check out the line one when we get over there. This is cool looking, especially from here. From here, I think it looks relatively cool. Let's get a little bit closer, a little bit of a glare on it. Hey, that blue's not badly saturated. I mean, there's a little extra, but not. I really like these lines though. They look solid, very black, very solid, very well saturated, not overly worked lines for most of them. Like it. I like it. I can't really see his eye there too much, but the colors seem to be saturated nice. Yeah, I don't mind this. I'm sure the client's probably cool with it too.
Yeah. And what sucks for me on this is the color choices.
Yeah.
It's the blues again. The blues, you're going to have to take a little bit. You've got to take a little bit of artistic license. The blues in the trousers. Even though I can tell you maybe use two different blues, they're too close together.
Oh yeah, they look the same. I didn't see any difference in the blues. There's no shadows in the
seem to be no difference. So you've got to get that high contrast in between it. And it's same with the hair. When you go up to the hair, it's all purple. And if you look at the reference, it has a lighter purple come raspberry stripe through it. So you should have just at that point should use purple and gone and grabbed a raspberry and put it in there, which would have pulled it out. But they're the things generally. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty much fine. Line work, decent size, thickness line work, and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's just the color choices.
definitely gotta go darker when contrasting your colors, or lighter depending on which way you're going. This is cool. Yep. Minus like when doing these thicker lines, if you got to go back over them sometimes
Yeah.
and they're not hit perfectly, you see them a little bit more. Luckily, I think as a whole, it's not really a big deal. It's like, oh, that's a cool tattoo. I like this, like that. But just a couple of those thicker lines. I do the same stuff. So
Yeah, it's just
I just point out stuff I even see in my own stuff.
Yeah, and again with stipple shading, it'd be nice to just have a couple of areas just a little bit darker, just to give it a little bit more depth. But
Yeah,
other than that, it's like you say, it's just watch them lines where you've got to do super thick lines. Make sure you keep them together.
Where are all the anime people where I live? I've never done an anime tattoo. Never. I'd be fun to do them. People seem to like them. We get a lot of them here, but I don't know. I don't know any of the characters. I don't have to know them to tattoo them, but nobody. I don't never do them. All right, here we go. This is him with just the line work. Really dig the line work. Looks good. Relatively consistent throughout. We have thicker, bolder lines up here. Those look fine. Yeah, really nice line work. Overall, looking really good, Vito.
Cool.
Looking good. Hopefully, just pick up on a few of those.
And just watch it. Like I say, if you're putting thick lines in, just make sure you keep them even.
Yeah. This is from Sophia. She says, "Hey, name's Sophie, UK, and this is the second orange I've tattooed. I really need some recommendations for fake skin on Amazon." Oh, excuse me, burp. Thank you so much for the critique. Oh, another burp. Good Lord. Okay, it's a bit harder to critique fruit. I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you what, though.
It's not too bad.
This is what people's skin look. The rind on this orange, the outer skin on orange. This is what people's skin looks like when you put Vaseline on it. This is chicken skin. But do you know something? I don't think it looks that bad to say it's on an orange.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. I remember tattooing oranges early on, and they did not look this good. But again, I really didn't know what the heck I was doing, especially at that time. But this is cool. I actually like this fire more than the first one.
Yeah, and they've got that, and then I can just see edge of a skull and edge of a 13, so and a book at top, so the witch is at. And
they ain't wasting this fruit.
They ain't wasted that orange, have they?
No, not at all. They're definitely getting.
And the
other thing about an orange, Andy, and you already know, that's like tattooing a shoulder or something, right up here where there's really no solid spot to place your hand. So it's actually more. You get different things out of tattooing fruit.
I'll tell you what I'd liken that orange skin to, Dave.
Yeah.
And I know it's tight, but when you go up back at elbow and you tighten the skin up.
Yeah.
That textured skin up back at elbow.
Oh, dude, I hate it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But it's the orange peel. It's quite like that sort of texture that you're getting on an elbow.
Definitely. Oh man, do I hate elbows? But yeah. Nice. Okay, got the 13. Right, boy, you're definitely maximizing. And there's more we don't even have pictures of. But
the other thing I'm going to say as well is this person, they're doing a good job. They're tattooing an orange. They're trying to pull straight lines over curved surfaces.
No, it's not easy.
That is not easy, Dave, when you're learning.
No, it's not.
People sit there with the fake skin on a desk like that. It's like doing on a piece of paper. It's not going to get you anywhere. Sack that. Get it over some couch roll. Bend it so it's like that over some couch roll. Now try pulling straight lines. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, do I ever, man? I mean, shoot, that's the thing. This fake skin is good. It's practice. It's like a stepping stone to the next thing. But to think that it's the same is obviously not. And I think most people know that too. And I know it's been beaten plenty of times in other videos, and we've brought it up too, is if you're going to practice and you feel like you're getting good at it and you want to challenge yourself, just start putting it on rounded surfaces and try it that way. It's it's a stepping stone to where now you have a person there and they're moving as well, and they're breathing and they're talking. There's so many extra things that go into that process. But
if you're
Great to
feeling that,
practice.
I dare you
before.
to, if you're feeling that way out, go get a cushion off your sofa or your couch. Go get a cushion, put your fake skin on top of that, and try doing it. It's like trying to tattoo side of somebody's belly. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
that. It's all over the
Yeah.
place.
And then that will allow you to practice applying pressure or stretching skin.
Yeah,
too,
because
if you have to.
But then you've definitely got to use your left hand. If you're right-handed, you've definitely got to use your left hand then and put it down on that piece of fake skin to hold it in place. Get your right hand down, planted, and pull your line to stop it moving around as much as you can. I've seen people learning on fake skin, and they've just got the machine. They've got the fake skin. They've just got the machine in their hand. The other hand's nowhere to be seen, and they're just like that, you know, drawing away on it. But that does you no favors.
Absolutely. All right, Haley, I think you'll be the last one. All right. Hey, guys, I've been tattooing as a self-taught artist for about 3 months now. I would love to hear any advice / constructive criticism. Thank you. Okay. Haley? Aha. That's a half of a coconut.
Coconut?
It looks pretty cool. I mean, there's no solid lining in this. It looks, kind of sketched in there, but it also looks like a half coconut. So
Yeah.
cool if it heals that way. Right on. Let's see what else
I
we
think
got.
it's a cool little tattoo.
Yeah, I do too.
Oof, this is bold, isn't it?
Yeah, very solid. Very solid. I think it looks good though. It looks saturated, really smoothly saturated, in my opinion. Lines are pretty good.
They're pretty evenly spaced where they're outlined round the M.
Yep. And the Florida looks pretty saturated. Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
And it looks pretty even, just line.
Yeah, probably exactly what they were asking for. Oh, here we go. This looks cool.
This is delicate. This is a pretty piece. It's delicate.
Yeah,
it's nice.
I like and the lines were hit. They're right. They're right on. They look good. It's airy. Even the tiny little lines in the flower can be.
Yeah. Super girly. So it's a lovely piece. Is this one?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the person that's got it on them was stoked that they got this on them. And again, like we said, Dave, looking at this piece, there's a lot of lines in there. There's not a great deal of shading, but less is best.
Yeah, it really works. It really works, especially when you can get you can get a little bit of darkness in those lines. Enough of those lines next to each other give you the darkness, and to make it work. And yeah, super airy, super girly, and desirable to the right people. Okay. Yeah, I feel like a few lines might be just a little faint here and there. And I don't know, not exactly my favorite, but I think that it's, it works.
I think it's
lines seem a little meh, it's not a lot to look at.
It looks a small piece done with a small line, and the guy on the left hand side, I don't know, it just gives me that Humphrey Bogart feel.
Yeah.
And that, but I don't think it's a bad piece.
No.
I don't think it's a bad piece.
Here we go. This is cool. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Cool. This is rad. This is absolutely rad, is this piece?
I kind of want this little guy. He is cool. And it's done well. Again, very simple. The black is there. There's not a lot of lines, but what lines here look pretty nice to me.
The shadow at the back of the feet going out behind them. I love that. I like it. It's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Bit of detail in sword handle.
They left the right amount of openings here.
Yeah. It's just such a fun piece.
But not too bad. Yeah, it's totally fun. I like the piece too. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm guessing this looks healed. Or something. Or maybe it was done in a couple parts because it looks, I don't know. No, it's not 100% healed, but it looks, I don't know. Something interesting here. But it looks cool. And as long as it holds in the skin well, then I think well done. I don't think it's meant to have any real solid, harsh lines, but rather shades to kind of keep it together. And as long as it stays together, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. Just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, just a little bit where it just gets slightly lost for me is in the end of the trumpet, the white part of the trumpet,
Right up here.
on the far side, the left hand side.
Right.
But not that I'm going to say it's bad. I don't know whether it's because of the angle that it's at, and we just sort of like can't see any of the middle of the trumpet. It just looks something just looks a tad weird there, but the rest of it is, I like the rest of it. The style that it's done in, subtle, it's soft, and everything, and and I think that's how it's supposed to be done, and it does look really well. It was just that end of it just looks a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I just can't put my finger on it.
Right. It doesn't quite look like it goes inward.
Yeah.
Like it's coming out properly. Like maybe that. And again, I don't know. Sometimes looking at the reference, you're like, well, I followed that. You know, it doesn't always come out the way we want it. I do see it now. It took me a minute. It's a falling angel hand going that way. A bit hard to read.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got it.
Hard to read. I wish we'd push things back a little bit forward, a bit more, using some shadows or whatnot, maybe to make it a little bit easier to read. But, oh, excuse me.
Looks clean, though.
Yeah, necks are I hate tattooing necks. But, yeah, for the most part, as far as line-wise, pretty cool. But, yeah, legibility. Let's see. Yeah, more of the lines to give shape. Oh, this is cool. Wait a second. Looks like a waterfall coming down here. Some trees, some rocks. Hey, that's pretty cool.
It's a rad design. Like nice design.
Yeah, little trees at the top. It's interesting realizing how long it takes my brain to process stuff. It's like, wait, I think we see a waterfall. Then it starts to come together. But no, this is cool. And this is a lot of detail in here. And it kind of looks like you got smart and drug your mag downward, creating these fine separated little lines, which was a pretty cool idea. We see it a little bit here in the waterfall as well, maybe. Yep, down through here. But most of this is single individual lines.
Nice tattoo, is that one?
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
sending
these in, Haley. Very cool. I'm glad we were able to take a look at them. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who sent stuff in. It was enjoyable. My hat's coming off. There we go. Got it clipped back together. Yeah, not bad. I had a good time. I think we got to check out a decent amount of work tonight. Got to see some really cool stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people's work the next time and as it develops, because there was some pretty cool stuff. Overall, everybody seems to be improving quite nicely. Quite nicely.
Good night. Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Mixed
bag. I figured we'd take it
to
to 3 hours, and we're doing pretty good. We got about 2 minutes left if there's any last minute things, but if not, we will be jumping off here, guys. Thanks for sending your work in. If you didn't, we'd have nothing to do here on Sunday evenings. I'm not sure if we will be here next Sunday. I'll be out in Texas.
Is it next Sunday that you're away?
Yeah, and it might be 2 weeks. It might be for 2 weeks. I won't be gone for 10 days, but it's just the way the days fall.
Yeah, so that takes you to after Christmas.
Yeah, which might not be a bad thing for some people. You can kind of enjoy some holiday time. I might be able to do a live stream, but it wouldn't be anything like this because I don't have my computer here with the software and all that jazz. So, yeah, maybe I'll get bored and do a Q&A, but that's all I can do because I'd have to do it from my phone. That's kind of, about it. So I don't really know that I have much to share.
What do many harm not to see our ugly mugs on screen for a week or two, Dave?
Right.
You know what I mean? Give their eyeballs a rest, won't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if you guys want to give the stream a like, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. You got anything to say, Andy, before we depart?
No, it's like you say, if we don't, well, like I say, if you're away and don't know when you're going to be back, I'll just say, if I don't see and we're not on here and I'm not back on before Christmas, I just hope everybody has a good Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get too drunk. Hope Santa brings them everything they want. And at some point, we'll either see you between Christmas or we'll see you in New Year. But hopefully, We may see you before.
Either way, we're going to see you.
It will. And I will get round at some point to sorting my own channel out. It's just like, oh my God, I just can't do watching and listening to myself on a video. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
It is. It takes a little while. You just have to learn to accept that. You're like, boy, I hate it. I hate how I sound. I hate how I look. I hate everything. But I'm just gonna have to do it anyhow.
And you know, you get these good things with concepts for video and concept talking and that, and you do it all, and you've got all these bits of video, and you start putting it together, and you think, well, that's crap.
Oh, I have so many of them. You wouldn't even believe how much crap I have of. But I make great video, and then it's like, oh, I guess that that's not how I wanted it to be, or I don't really pass information along the way it should be. But I think you just got to put some of those out there and accept that you don't like them. People might not, but then you just got to break that ice a little bit.
Yeah, and then I think what I were recording some, and I were in shop, and then somebody comes bounding through the door and goes, "What have you got? What do you want? Can you do this?" And it's like, oh God, that's it. That's all ruined. Is that a lot? I've got to start and do it all again. It's like, great.
Yeah, I've recorded entire videos and realized that I never had my microphone plugged in. And it's like, oh, come on, I can't remember. I record everything just off the cuff, like whatever. I have an idea, I just sit there and I say whatever I'm going to say, you know. So I've said it all 20 minutes, you know. I might have a half an hour and run to my mouth for a video, and then like, all right, nobody wants to listen to me talk for 30 minutes. How do I condense this down to 5-7 minutes? And then, you know, so you import everything and you realize like, wow, there's no audio, or that recorded horribly, or didn't focus. And yeah, it's just, you know, you try to get better at it, but yeah, I don't know.
I suppose
We'll get you there, Andy. We'll get you there.
Yeah,
Do some videos. If you know, even if you don't like them,
somebody might.
Somebody will enjoy them. We'll go
Yeah,
over there and watch them. I know 31 people who go over there and watch them.
Well, maybe. Watch one and go sack that. I'm not going any further than this.
Hey, it's just good fun though, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, break that ice now. But all right, guys. Well, again, thank you for being here. We will hopefully see you in the next week or two. If not, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Fingers crossed for the new year, guys. Crossed. Can it get any worse? I don't know. I shouldn't have asked that question. So hopefully things get better in the new year.
Yeah.
One can only hope. But all right. Till next time. Peace.
Yep.